CWTFB Radio. I am your host, Charlie MaSheen, alongside my right-hand man, Cash, no motherfucking money.
Zero, baby. Money bag, so-so.
And when I say no money, that don't mean he ain't got no money. That just means we ain't talking about no money when we talking about cash, man. We all choose what the future brings. Black culture through music.
Black, y'all.
Episode 144.
44.
Always in Exposed TV
Golly.
Studios, man. If you need a studio for a video shoot.
This is your studio.
If you need a studio for some B-rolls.
Where else?
If you need a studio for some photo shoots.
This is your goddamn studio.
Holla at the boss lady, Kateria Cologne, and Matt Thomas, man. They're going to shoot you in 4K, have you looking real crisp, real authentic.
You talking
things
like
of that nature.
I'm rubbing off. See, you shorten words up that way.
It was one letter that I missed, my nigga.
You know what I mean?
Not like you. But also shout out to the pod dealer, man. Punch pies, pack with a punch. You know, if you got a sweet tooth, you need something to munch on. I know you motherfuckers be getting high. You looking at cash right now.
Damn, yo, that haymaker.
Yeah, that haymaker.
That banana shit.
Yeah, that shit's good.
That shit's banging.
All right, let's get it.
That shit's crazy.
So the haymaker's a hit, man.
Yeah, it's
no
crazy.
pun
And
intended.
I don't even like bananas like that. You know
Black
what I'm
people
saying?
love bananas.
Yeah, but too much of it, heartburn.
Okay, all right,
You know what I'm
whatever.
saying?
You
So,
different.
potassium and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but either
yeah,
way, yeah.
holla at the
shit.
pod dealer, man. She got all types of flavors, man. She gonna get you right. Just to cure your sweet tooth, sweet tooth, and your munchies
English
and all of
is
that, man.
tearing you apart.
Yeah, it is. Whatever, man. But we back, episode 144, man.
Yeah,
We in Exposed TV Studios. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm
Yeah.
doing, accepting life for how it comes.
You speaking to the
Choose
mic,
what the
man?
future brings. Every day is what I apply. So like being here, you gotta choose what the future brings, man. That's
Yeah.
what life is bringing to me. You know what I mean? And I know you going through shit.
Yeah,
Papa Machine, he gone.
yeah. I
You know
lost
what
my pops yesterday, man.
Oh,
R.I.P. to
dog,
that,
You
man.
know what I mean? But I know he would want me to drink.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
So I'm gonna drink. Cheers,
So
man.
if-
I'm not gonna hold you, man.
If you watching this and you give a fuck about us, man, and you want to honor my father, man, just grab a drink, take a shot. You know what I
Straight
mean?
up.
Don't overdo it, but do it civilized. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he would have wanted. Because there was times where I would have came home drunk as fuck at the same time that he was coming home.
And he drunk
fuck.
as fuck, and he drunker than you.
And he's looking at me like, "Why you so fucked up?"
Like, why
Right.
you so fucked up?
Right. And yeah, shout out to that man, yo. I'm gonna miss him.
Shout out to him, man.
Yeah, man. So but the show must go on. So we're here.
And we are. And I salute you again. Cause my nigga, like, bro, motherfuckers would take, grieving and going on and on and on and messing with the algorithm.
Right.
We can't stop what we going on. What's going on, Chiz?
Well, my thing is just more like, you react how life happens to you. You know what I'm saying? And as much as, you would like to take breaks for certain things, at what cost, right? Like our whole mission was to do this week in and week out.
Yeah.
And unless I'm physically unable to do it, there's really no reason why I should stop.
Cause niggas be asking us like, yo, how do y'all keep going and going? We like, yo, consistency. Yo, that's perfect. I'm about to take a break.
Right.
Niggas be like, yo,
How does that work?
niggas be like, yo, that's great advice. I'm gonna do the complete
They're like,
opposite of that.
word.
I need a break, my nigga.
Yeah, but
And yo, I salute you, bro, because I'm with that shit.
thank you, brother. I appreciate you being here with me, dog. And to the whole team, man. The
Yeah,
guys
shout out
behind
to
the
the
scenes.
team. Word.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, what you want to talk about this week, bro? We got some shit.
Three-man rap groups are dead. Unless you're talking about the Locks. The Locks are the last living three-man rap group. The Migos are breaking up.
Okay.
No more Bad and Bougie, bro.
Okay. So talk to me about that, because I didn't really do my research on that. I didn't really care to look into why they're breaking up.
Well, it's just simple the fact that they never spoke about each other before in the media. They never addressed each other in any way of a negative any sense.
Right.
But now they have.
Mm.
So I feel like there's really no coming back from that.
But ain't they family though?
I mean, but so what? I know cousins who done shot each other.
I know family that gets over shit. You know what I mean? Real fast. You know what I mean? Like they get mad, they go through their shit, and then they're like, you know what, bro? I was tripping. All
But
I
I'm
know
saying,
is that
what if-
Quavo said. What did Quavo say?
I don't know exactly what you said.
He said something about Offset being disloyal.
Yeah, and disloyalty, ain't no coming back from that. Ain't no like, oh, word, you gain your loyalty back, nigga. Word, you did all my good great. Nah, shit, what's done is done. We gotta just accept the fact a 3-man rap group, if it ain't Jada, Kiss, Styles P, and Sheek Luke, it won't ever work. 2-man rap group, fine.
Is that even a group or is that a duo? Don't you gotta be 3 or more to be a group?
That's true. So that's a duo.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, the group shit, dead.
The group shit.
Migos, baby. That shit's sad, man. My bitch is bad and bougie.
Is it really? I never
The
really.
Migos got hits.
I like the Migos.
The Migos
like,
got hits.
I like the Migos radio hits. But let's be honest, bro. Was you excited when they dropped an album?
No.
Right. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like I wasn't checking for Migos shit. Like, yeah,
I wanted to learn the words.
This
though.
shit's gonna come out.
It was hard.
like
It started to slow down for me like basketball, bro. Like I started to really understand Takeoff, bro.
Man, I mean, look, I know why people like the Migos. It's simplistic rap, and it's cool. It's fun. Like it's not, you know what I mean? They're not too. I mean, I don't think they're too like aggressive and shit like that. But
I think solo they don't sell, but I mean, as a group, I love that shit.
Offset,
That's what I had.
Offset was the one that's getting kicked off, right?
Yeah.
And Takeoff and Quavo was Neff and Few now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think that's their cousin or something like that. Offset was Offset in the crew. So I don't know, bro. I don't know, but I hope they figure it out. They some young black men. They get into the bag, but I think Offset's freaking out right now. Offset don't know what the fuck to do.
He got Cardi B. He's fine.
Well, but why did they say he was disloyal?
Doing some fucking sweetie.
You think he fucked Sweetie?
Bro, she love McDonald's. Like,
Bitch,
no, easy it is to get a bitch who love McDonald's.
I get some McDonald's. I ain't no clown like Rano. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that was easy.
I'm sure of it.
But yeah, whatever, man. What else you got, bro?
I ain't got shit else.
You ain't got shit else?
I don't want to talk about my Pats. They suck.
Why?
We're bad. We need to let one of them quarterbacks die on the field like they doing in Miami.
Really?
Look at the boy Tua. The boy Tua is coming out to play. The boy Tua lost half his mind.
Yo, your man, what was his name? Brian Hoyer.
Yo, he is the most loser quarterback playing in the NFL right now. And he is on our team. So, like, that says a lot for what...
That man played 3 games.
Bill Belichick got to go. To like, sum it all up, make it... The nigga got to go, bro. Bill's old, bro. That nigga's...
Let Bill Belichick go.
He gonna have an oxygen tank on the sideline soon. He like 80, my nigga.
Yeah.
How many 80 niggas you know coordinated enough to fucking coach football?
I know his son to have the whole team lit. That motherfucker look like
he on that
shit.
Yeah, he on that package. Yeah.
Like, everybody does Adderall at practice.
Oh yeah, for
right
sure.
Now.
Yeah, no drug test. Right. No drug. Who's giving the drug test? You get a drug test if you're giving a drug test.
What's his name?
I don't know, but he's really on the staff.
He's Kid Belichick. That's what I'm gonna call him.
Yeah, he's really on the staff. Yeah, the Pats suck. Yeah, but Celtics, baby.
Yeah, what about the
preseason?
Yeah,
it's the preseason.
And then what?
We're looking good.
Yeah,
it's just what it is.
Who's the interim coach?
The nigga from Rhode Island.
Who?
Damn, I fucked up. I don't know his name.
Is he black?
I'm sure he look Cape Verdean. Honestly,
you think so?
I don't know. He look
Cape Verdean.
He look Cape Verdean.
So he's light skinned.
Yeah, he light skinned black.
So he's blackish.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right. Well, that was noble of them. It was like, you know what? We crucified this black man. We might as well give the job to another black man.
Yeah,
right?
I like that.
Yeah. You dirty dick nigga. E-man.
Hey. Come on, man.
Yeah. Well,
be nice.
Right.
You don't know.
We don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Matt Barnes was like, hey.
Matt Barnes,
Matt Barnes said,
Matt Barnes is a funny nigga because that's the same nigga who drove 60 miles to whoop a nigga ass.
It wasn't Derek Fisher that drove?
Yeah.
It was Matt that
Matt
drove?
Barnes that drove to whoop Derek Fisher's ass.
Shit.
Yeah.
I thought it was Derek Fisher that drove to whoop Matt Barnes' ass.
Mm-mm.
Oh, wow. Well, more power to him.
That's what Kanye said. Right.
We'll see. Let's see what happens with your Celtics, right?
Oh, I just brought up
preseason.
Brought up your man. Talk about your man, Kanye, bro. Let's talk about your man. What do you think? White lives. What is it? What was that
White
shit?
Lives Matter.
White lives matter. Okay. What is that shit?
All right, let me unpack this, right?
Yo, what's your T-shirt say?
It was supposed to say never argue with anyone that Harriet would have left behind, but my letters are falling off for whatever reason. I made this at the crib, obviously.
that is what is
And that's exactly why. So,
Harry was like, "Hey yo, let's go, niggas. Hey yo, Harry, me too."
He's like, "Oh nah,
nigga.
Sit your ass down, nigga." Right?
Look at your hands.
Your hands is clean, bitch. Fuck is you talking about? You ain't had one hard day. Now, and Kanye was the inspiration behind this shirt. Never argue with anyone that Harriet would have left behind, right? And I was an avid Kanye fan, right? So I gotta eat my words right now, bro.
You're about to switch right now?
Yeah, bro. I can't stand behind that.
But music and all?
I can't stand behind that because
I don't
think,
believe it.
Nah, I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm the nigga who bought the fucking, what's the shit called? The shit.
Yeah,
the thing player. The stem player.
Stem player. Thank
Right?
you.
I
Fucking niggas.
I bought the shit. You understand me?
Yeah.
So like,
no more?
bro,
I don't believe you.
bro, you have to understand. Huh?
They want your stem player. Because they don't
My
give a
man
fuck
wants a
whether it's
stem player.
white lives only or black lives only,
Look.
nigga.
What Kanye did, I understand. It's for attention. It's for sales.
He got an album coming.
That's what he always does.
Like,
right?
aren't y'all excited?
Nah, but like, my thing is just more like, when have white lives never not mattered?
I'm not having this conversation with you.
Why? Why?
Because, bro, this is fucking stupid. You know what he did it for. He has no idea what really was on the back of that shirt. Kanye's I really think,
You don't think he knew what was on that shirt?
I think he knew,
What,
but
what are
like,
you saying right now?
like Kanye was selling something. He's selling something else.
Bro.
He just wants to, didn't he say slavery was a choice?
Right.
Yo.
I mean,
Like,
look,
nigga.
look.
Like, yo, bro.
You know, that statement is loaded because you gotta
explain that shit to me, Chiz.
Nigga, look at
You
the
was
country
there,
that
right?
look at the country that our parents come from. Haiti, right? What the fuck was that revolution about? A whole bunch of slaves revolting, my nigga.
Yeah.
Right? So at that point they said, no more, nigga. Like, we're not doing this shit no more. Slaves said, fuck that. I don't want to be a slave no more.
So from the beginning,
Right.
it was a choice. Is
No,
what you're saying.
No, it's
From-
not look, we don't know how it happened.
Like, how did the first Africans get on the boat? I ask myself that question all the time. Like, what did they say to me? Like, hey, yo, leave this. Come with me.
And say, yo, you want to go on vacation? And say, hey, yo, look, if you get on this,
We got rental horses. Nigga.
rental horses is crazy. We got rental horses.
Hey, yo.
But
So, go ahead, proceed. You don't agree with him.
nah, I don't agree with it. And aligning with Candace Owens, you know, I have a love-hate relationship with.
Oh,
Candace
that's who
Owens.
was standing next to him?
Yeah, so Candace Owens.
Oh, that's a Trump supporter. That's you.
Yeah, okay, all right, but
What? What did I say that was offensive, bro? Why everybody jump around?
Because you're skimming around the reason why people are typically Trump supporters.
Okay.
Now, when I don't say crazy left shit like fucking. Well, I guess it would be right, but whatever. But like Candace Owens. But there's a lot of things that I agree with Candace Owens on, but there's a lot of things that I don't disagree with on, because her take on black and white is null and void because she's married to a white man. So I don't want to hear none of that shit,
You
right?
chose your fight.
Yeah, your spouse is white, you chose your fight. You fucking know that. And Kanye married a white woman. I mean, he's divorced now, right? Right?
You
right?
used to say she was black.
I used to say she was black because all the black dick she took over the years. You know what I'm saying? Like, she took mad
like,
black
it's
dick.
like transformation.
She got hot. She got hot off a black dick. Like, you know what I mean? So shout out to her. So shout out to, you know what I mean, Kim Kardashian sucking some black cock and going to the top, which is excellent. Like, it's really like, it gives like regular white bitches hope. Like, wow, all I gotta do is just suck a famous black dick.
Yeah.
And put it on camera, right? But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah. Stay
What
away from
Kanye
the
did,
cameras, my nigga.
what Kanye did was irresponsible, bro. Because he's playing with something that's larger than just the phrase. That's actually a white supremacist group somewhere in the South. There is a White Lives Matter group, bro.
Oh shit.
Right? So you look at people like that, they want to get empowered and things of that nature. That's why I think it's irresponsible. He might have not looked at it like that, but that actually exists. And you're talking about promoting something that just spews hate, right? And something that actually was a direct answer to something that was made to uplift black people, right? Yeah, those people who did some fuck shit on the BLM movement, fuck them, shame on them. But the phrase Black Lives Matter was a direct response to police brutality with black men, right? And then now you want to combat it with White Lives Matter. It's like, come on, Kanye, don't do that. You can't be the same dude that says George Bush does not care about black people and then turn around and say some dumb shit like White Lives Matter.
If you
like,
got some type of chemical imbalance, you can. If you imbalance
at this point, I don't even know if that's even real anymore. That might be some bullshit. He might just be on some like, yeah, I'm depressed. I mean, just because he's like, I can say whatever the fuck I want, and niggas be like, I'm depressed.
Nah, the way his mom talked to him, she talked to him like he was on a bus with 3 people, bro.
I don't know, bro. You know, I from now on,
I disregard.
I can't fuck with what Kanye's doing for the publicity stunts right now, man. Like,
the album's coming.
The album's coming. If the album's coming, I'm gonna be one of the last to hear it. You know what I mean? Like,
it's gonna drive.
You gotta hear it because it's Kanye. You gotta hear it. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna hear it.
do?
But have you heard Donda 2?
No.
Right, because you didn't buy the stunt player. So that means it's possible to not give a fuck. You see what I'm saying? You didn't care enough to go and find it. So there you go. Kanye, you losing fans, you losing followers, like avid followers, bro.
I mean, yeah. How much is a stunt player?
$200.
Nah.
Right.
I'll pass.
But either way, let's get into these red cups and ratings, man, because I'm done talking about Kanye. He's pissing me the fuck off. Anything else you wanted to say about that?
Nah, but yo, we're nominated for the Boston Music Awards one more time.
Come on, man.
One more again. Like, yeah, man, you know what it is.
I wanted to talk about this with the guests, man. So let's get into that later.
Oh, I like that.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Like
we nominated. You motherfuckers better vote. Especially you motherfuckers who's been on the show, because like, come on, come on.
I bought chicken.
Stop
for
playing
you niggas,
with us,
bro.
man.
I don't buy chicken for everybody.
Right.
I really don't. And I'm cheap. I'm like a combination of the nigga from the game and everybody hates Chris's dad.
Right.
I'm that cheap now. You know? 2 kids deep, baby.
But either way, man.
Let's go. Red cups and ratings.
Red cups and ratings, man. You know, every week we have 2 projects. This time we're gonna start with this is somebody that I've been kind of like watching for a little while since doing the podcast. But I actually got a chance to meet him at the testing lab, man. So shout out to Noble and the testing lab and the sound lab over there in Brockton. This is Cashy 2 times.
Cashy 2 top.
And the project is called Trap 2. It is a 8-track project. It's about 22 minutes long. What did you think, bro?
I liked it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, man, I didn't know how much of an influence Pop Smoke had. Like I liked Pop Smoke, but like Pop Smoke had an influence on hip hop, like the new hip hop. A lot of niggas is like gravitated to that sound. When it comes to that drill beat, the first thing that they think of, or I feel like they want to do, is whatever Pop Smoke would have did. And I like it. You know what I mean? I think it's good, but it's, you know, it's only so much that I can hear.
Right.
But I like it. I think he has things to say. You know what I'm saying? And Beats was knocking.
Yeah.
You know, what was that record? Damn, I forgot the name of that record.
Was it
Silly.
Fuck With Me?
Yeah, was it Fuck With Me?
I believe so. It was Fuck With Me.
Nah, it was Silly.
That's the one that you say, I need two of me?
I need two of me. It was
Yeah.
Silly. It was Silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That record, that's my shit.
Yeah.
That's my shit. So I like that.
record.
Yeah, I like this shit.
I like his energy.
Yeah.
I mean, I like, you know, he has a lot of energy. And seeing him perform too also did it for me, pause. Where it's like, you know, you look at people actually on stage and trying to, you know, interact with the people in the crowd and things of that nature, and just seeing the essence of what he actually wants to bring.
Yeah.
I think when you see somebody live, you appreciate them a little bit more, or appreciate them a whole lot less, depending on how good or bad they are at it.
And on Dead Dogs, this shit was solid.
Yeah, it shit was solid. He can rap. You know, nice melodies, good production, good engineering. The features were cool. I've never really heard of any of these people. I'm not gonna lie. I've never heard of anybody that's on this joint. But this must be like a series that he has. This is Trap 2. So there must have been a Trapped or Trap 1.
He getting out.
Yeah, but he's doing his thing, man. And you say he's getting out. What do you think he could work on?
I mean, getting off the drill sound. Try to get off that drill. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't drilling all day, bro. You know what I mean? Try to mix it up. That shit was just so much of it I could take. You know what I mean? Until I'm like, my daughter's like, Bobby, that shit is loud.
Wow.
Yeah, like
your daughter said that?
Yeah, like my daughter, I listen to old school shit with my kid.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I play a lot of just old school shit, like Teddy Pendergrass. Like, I play old school jams, reggae. So like she hears it, she's like, I mean, it's like loud, like it just keeps going. Like, I'm like, all right, I dig it, and that's how I feel.
Right. All right. Well, what we give this man, so on a whole, man, out of 5 red cups, we gave my man Cashy 2 times Trap 2 a 4.1.
Nice.
Out of 5 red cups, man. Shout out my man Cashy 2 times. Did your motherfucking thing on this, man. Keep working, bro. We gonna talk real soon, bro. Now there was another one that was also artist submitted. And actually, no, I'm sorry. The first one was artist submitted. This one was not. This was one that I wanted to talk about just because I've been seeing a lot from this guy, man. And it's not more so his projects that pull me in. It's really his visuals. Like, he has some really cool visuals. He makes some really cool videos, and the energy around his videos are always exciting. A lot of people like flock to it, and a lot of people fuck with him, man. So without further ado, we talking about Picasso, but my man Casso. This was a 17-track project, 44 minutes long. What'd you think?
A lot of beats.
Yeah.
A lot of production.
Yeah.
Production is through the roof.
Yeah. Production's excellent.
Production's slim. But what is he saying?
Elaborate.
I just wasn't sure on what he was. I just heard a lot of the same. I pull up in that goddamn, like, goddamn. Like, is it your mom's van?
Oh, shit.
Like, I mean, like,
man.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It was just like, I feel like he was just, you know, putting a lot of things together to make it sound good because the beats was going crazy.
Right.
But he had good features, like that song with Y Jizzle.
Yeah, Dr. Miami.
I like that shit.
Shout out to Y Jizzle, man. Matter of fact, you know what I want to say about Y Jizzle and features? Y Jizzle has to be one of the only, like, hood street rappers who are doing mad features with white boys, man. I don't know what that's about, but he's doing mad features with white boys. And I don't know, like, if it's just like these are the motherfuckers who are paying for features, or if he's just like, I fuck with white boys. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is, right? But
I'm gonna assume motherfuckers is paying for features.
Yeah.
All right? They're like, Mom, it needs to happen.
But you realize, but you realize they always, like, they talk extra spicy when Y Jizzle's on the regular. They're like, yeah, this I'm gonna, you know, get to a place of gangster that is believable, and then I'm gonna stop because Y Jizzle's gonna come on like, bitch, Fucking bitch.
Yo, let me ask you, because is this the definition of mumble rap?
He does do some mumble rap.
He does mumble rap.
He does
right?
mumble rap. Yes.
So mumble rap is a thing.
Mhm.
It's like you know.
The mumble rap is like that weird like draw where you can't really make out what they saying. But they got a bop. I feel like this project was like if Logic and Lil Uzi Vert had a baby.
It's possible.
You know what I mean? But and no disrespect to Casso, man, because I like the way he rapped, but like it was weird for me. Like I want to hear more about his story. Like I don't know anything about the kid. I met him maybe once. You know, he kind of confuses me with the direction that he wants to go, but sonically, it sounded good.
It did.
It sounded really fucking good.
It's a
bro.
knock.
The production was fire,
It's
bro.
a knock. The production's crazy.
Hey, the production was fire. Whoever was engineering his shit was fucking fire.
It's a knock.
You know, his features were great because you're talking about.
But it's when you start to listen. It's when you're like,
yeah, when you start to break down the lyrics, right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, he had some people that we know on here, man. You know, we mentioned Charlie Jizzle. Polo Summers was on here. Yep. Miles Carter. Miles Carter's on here. Miles Carter's verse was hard. Man, I liked it.
I didn't even know he rapped like that. I know him for a Twitter nigga.
Yeah, that nigga, he's heavy on Twitter, right?
See, you know, I know if Twitter shut down, he shut down. Like, probably go into depression mode.
I'm gonna keep it real. Like, I never listened to a Miles Carter record.
I didn't.
I probably should have by now, but
yeah, he's not bad.
But he got some shit.
He's not bad.
But all in all, man, what do we give this? Out of 5 red cups, we gave my man Picasso a 3.6 out of 5 red cups, man. Shout out my man Picasso. I think that's probably why our man Casarelli changed his name. He used to be Casso. Now he's Casarelli. I don't know. He let the Saxons push him out. That's crazy. But I don't know.
I don't think Casarelli really give a fuck about rap.
Who knows, man? Who knows? But yeah, so you want to bring in our guest, man?
Excuse me, my nigga?
You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so this week
it's a staple.
We have somebody who is a staple in the city, in the culture. Somebody who's been doing his thing for a very long time. I mean, if you're an artist from Boston, you know, Cambridge, wherever, surrounding areas, Metro Boston, then you will definitely know this man's name.
Before the
internet, right? And also, if you've ever been to a live show at the Middle East, there's no way that you probably don't know this dude. And I'm talking about, like, he's brought out a lot of fucking artists. We're talking about like, the likes of, you know, Kendrick Lamar, you know, ASAP Mob, you know, fucking, you know, Mob Deep. Motherfucking, you know, old school, new school, everything that's going on, man. So I need everybody to put your hands together, give your undivided attention to my man Leedz, man. A lot of people know him as Leedz Edutainment.
You want gunshots? You want gunshots?
Gunshots everywhere.
Leedz.
I say, I better get some gunshots.
What's good, bro?
Chilling, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate the interview. I mean, appreciate the invite. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
And the interview.
Thanks for you pulling up, man. For real. I didn't know if you was gonna pull up. No
well, it's all right. I'm all white. You know what I mean?
Yeah. we following him on the way out. We just go, you know what I mean? Just his car lead the way. You know
his car even looked mad white too. I was like, oh yeah, you would be driving.
Oh yeah. No,
you know what town you're in, right? You know what town this is, right?
Oh my God, yeah, right.
You're in a white town.
One of the whitest. It's fucking crazy, man.
As you said, like, we give you the address. I was like, this is where the studio is?
Right.
Man?
He was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Who is this guy?
I was like, I'll go.
Right. He's like, if that's where it's really at.
I got nothing to worry about.
The Google image doesn't do it no justice. But
did you Google the address?
No, I just know the town. I live out here now.
Okay.
I'm in Hull now. I live on the beach.
Oh, you live in Hull.
So I'm not too far away. So
right.
I was like, all right, cool.
Okay. Well, that's good, man. That's good. But thank you for pulling up, man. But
Definitely.
for the people who don't know who you are, man, who are just tapping in and are new to the scene out here, man, just give us a quick rundown of who you are, what you do, what you represent.
Yeah, Leedz Edutainment. That's my company. My real name's Ned Wellbery. Real English waspy name.
Yes. It's very sexy.
But people call me Leedz. That's my nickname. It was called Leedz, and I switched it to turn it to Leedz Edutainment. But independent hip-hop promoter in Boston for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, 20 years. Primarily throwing underground hip-hop shows at the Middle East.
Yes, yes.
Promoted a lot of people's first shows. You mentioned Kendrick Lamar. Bunch of names. Got him on the way up, got him on the way down.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the best way to catch him, man.
Yeah,
the price is good at that point.
Both times.
Yeah, facts.
It's a lot easier in the beginning, though. On the way down, they're still mad that they don't get the money they used to get.
They're mad that they're on the way down.
They
Right.
don't get the on-top money,
yeah.
so they're like,
Right.
this fucking club, I don't want to fucking be here. This is
Right.
bullshit, but I need the money anyway.
Yeah. But I know this guy. You know what I mean?
But the Middle East was such a classic, nostalgic club, even though it was like a, old and run down and worn out, 40 years old.
Yeah.
It was just so legendary that people didn't care to play it. They were like, oh, well, I don't even care what it looks like. It's like, this is just a classic club. It's what Rolling Stones ranked it one of the best clubs out of 50, top 50 clubs in the country.
That's crazy, bro. Rolling Stone said that?
Yeah, Rolling Stones.
What
that
year
was like
when
10
they
years
did
ago, too.
Really?
There was a lot more clubs back then.
Shit. Fucking right. Shout out to the Middle East, man.
No, the Middle East is like, and I grew up, I went to the first Middle East show at probably like 19, 20 years old. I was living in New Hampshire.
What year was that? Like 72 or some shit?
Good one. I wasn't born in 72.
Bill Russell was getting 17.
No, it was 99. I saw like
wow.
I know. Jeru the Damager.
Oh.
Yeah. It was like right before he put out his third album that everybody waited for and were a little disappointed with. Because Primo didn't do anything.
Oh shit.
But the place was packed, and it was like 550 person capacity room.
Right.
But they had to be in like 657. This is before Rhode Island fires, so they
right.
packed that motherfucker from the front to the back.
Yeah.
There was like 700 people in there. You could smoke back then.
Yeah.
Right.
With blonde spots, cigarettes, whatever.
Didn't
It was
Everything was
It was a vibe.
That's another thing people forget about too. Back when you could smoke in venues, that
You
was
could
a whole
smoke
nother
on an
animal.
airplane.
That was a-
Right.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, they did have a
Airplane.
smoking section.
That's crazy.
I remember they got rid of that pretty quick.
They should have a vape thing now where we can vape.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying? We vaping everywhere.
No.
I mean, we vaping everywhere. No, you don't like the
We
vape?
tried that at the Middle East. I had a vaping sponsor one time. Smoked out, set off all the fire alarms. These
shit.
guys, because the problem with
believe
the
it.
problem with vaping is, but I'm not trying to rain on your parade over here, is the people that do it sometimes are just like. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's not like a cigarette where you're like.
It goes out. Right.
This
Right,
motherfucker
right.
looking.
You take a little more time.
Right.
No, it's like,
Yeah.
you're fucking huffing that thing like it's the last
motherfuckers
thing.
out here
Like the
performing,
antidotes in
like,
it.
you know
Like
what I
the
mean?
antidotes in
Like,
there. Like you lost the keys in it. So we've come a long way from no smoking and in like the Middle East, and just like I went there. Used to go to shows there, and then I worked for a company called Metro Concepts, which was doing all the shows back then with Governor Pete. All the classic shit. Brought Eminem out there early. Everything. I can't even list all the names. Boot Camp, Smith & Wesson, all those classic shows. Big Daddy Kane. Right around 99, 2000, when the independent scene was really starting to take off, like hip-hop renaissance, they call it.
Terminology.
Yeah. In Boston, local scene at the time was doing really well.
Right.
They were putting out 12 inches. You had Mr. Lift, Acrobatic, and G was resurging.
Right.
So it was like Boston hip-hop had a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was going to all these shows like, wow, this is crazy. So like, I said, I had enough of New Hampshire. I said, I'm going to go to school in Northeastern. Went down there. Just got in the music scene.
Okay.
I was down there today. I figured I'd buy it.
Yeah, why not? Oh, you bought that today?
Yeah, this is on the clearance rack.
That's
so.
real.
I was like, I'll do an interview. I had 2 hours. It is,
still
but
in the hood,
it's a thin line in the hood.
Yeah.
I mean, you could literally be. I understand you're in the hood, but like literally 10 feet, you're in the most prepperiest non-hood section in the world.
But I think that's one of the most interesting things
But
about
yo,
Boston.
Slade still got the best chicken wings.
That's a fact.
that's
Let's throw it up with Slade.
That's a Fendi. Shout out
See,
to
I know
Slade.
my area.
You know your
the
shit.
chicken wings over there are like 10 times the size of the ones you just bought. Like, you know,
I don't know where they're getting these chickens at.
that
but-
makes me nervous how
You
big
know, it's
they
a
are.
lab, baby. Come on, y'all gotta get over it. Yeah.
Yo, food's good in there.
Yeah,
Nah, it is, man. But
Food's good in there.
your run with the Middle East
Yes.
is something that's legendary,
Yeah.
right? And that's what we want to do first.
Right.
We want to throw it up for you, bro. Because
Thank you.
That was like anybody who was doing
was
rap or
staple.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely
It was
was a
Leeds.
staple in the community. You still are.
Yeah.
And you know, even when I was rapping, 10 years ago, like when I was like a young teenager.
What's your rap name?
Young Chiz.
Young Chiz.
Young
I
Chiz,
probably know it.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I emailed you a couple times.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah,
We talked
well,
about
I mean,
that.
whatever. You ain't get back to me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't nobody. You know what I'm
Sorry.
saying? So
Sorry about
but I'm from, that era of,
Yep.
Lee Boy Avenue.
Yep.
Smoke Bulger Millies. Like
Yep.
that time when everybody was starting to come up and things of that nature. And my brother threw it up for you.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was like, yo, if you really want to get tapped in with the shows,
That's
Yeah.
fire.
you need to holla at Leedz Edutainment.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the fuck is
Edutainment.
Leedz Edutainment? Right?
Exactly.
That's how I would say that
Who the
shit
fuck?
too.
Usually they go Leedz Education. Well, Leedz Entertainment. No, it's Edutainment.
Edu.
Yeah.
But, what made you want to get into the promoting, man? And
I was young,
doing
man.
shows?
I was young. I was in my early 20s. I came from a place that had no hip hop shows,
Oh,
like none. New
Where you from?
Hampshire. I'm
New Hampshire.
From Georgetown, Massachusetts, which is like North Shore.
Wow.
And then my parents split up, and then my mom remarried, and I ended up in this small southern New Hampshire town called Sandown, which is basically in the freaking woods,
Saxon.
right over the border.
Got you.
Yeah.
Massachusetts people were buying houses in southern New Hampshire because they were cheap.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. Wow.
Not all New Hampshire is as bad as you think.
Right.
Southern New Hampshire is pretty, as you would say, blue.
Right.
And then as you go up,
It's red as
It's
fuck.
red as
it's
motherfucker.
red.
Red is my favorite color.
Yeah.
As he is.
So it's where I'm from.
Piece of shit.
I mean, New Hampshire had such a bad rap because when I came to Boston, everyone's like, fucking New Hampshire. I mean, I had only lived in New Hampshire for 10 years out of my 20 years of living at that time, 25
wow.
years
Gotcha.
living. So I was in Massachusetts for more than my
yeah.
New Hampshire experience. And they were all, it was like a stain on my shoulder. It was like, New Hampshire.
Right.
But, I don't really care. But ended up in Boston. Wanted to go be in the music scene. Was a DJ at the time. Was big, making a lot of mixtapes, underground mixtapes.
What was your DJ name?
Leedz.
So you flipped it.
I flipped it.
Okay.
So you caught that. I like that. So then I just, I needed an internship. So I worked with Metro Concepts. Like I said, it was throwing all the shows, and they were also doing guerrilla marketing.
Right.
So like back then, guerrilla marketing was huge.
Yeah.
Because if you were indie artist, you didn't have a radio budget. You needed these guys to fucking.
Explain to me what guerrilla marketing
So
is.
before social media, if you can remember that,
There was no gorilla. No gorillas were harmed.
so guerrilla marketing is
You
more-
can't harm no gorilla,
it's almost
nigga.
like a freestyle like way of promoting. Like anything goes.
Yeah.
Do it yourself.
Yeah.
So like, you hand out flyers. That's guerrilla marketing.
Yeah, okay.
I go to back when they had record stores.
Right.
You'd go in.
Shout out Mattapan Music.
Yeah, I've been in there, and like you'd go with the whatever you were promoting, give you posters and flyers, and you go into the record store, you tape them up.
Okay.
Remember they used to have the flyer tables.
Yeah.
Put the flyers down,
I
snap
remember.
a few pics.
Yeah.
Go on to the next retail store, and then you'd go to shows, and you'd hit the let outs. Because you got to remember, there's no way of connecting to the audience other than that, unless you've got big radio budgets. And indie artists at that time had did not have that.
Right.
So you relied heavily on that type of promotion, which was guerrilla marketing, and then maybe you get a write up in the Phoenix or the Dig or the Globe or the Herald, and that's really all you could afford to do on a show that level, or promote an album.
Wow. Okay.
And publicists were big back then, so then
Right.
forums were starting to take off. But really, it was that was it. So anyway, I just was young, single, and I was like, I'm gonna go to shows, and I just loved the Middle East and the shows it did, and I loved that whole way of curating, and I just wanted to like bring in the acts that I wanted to see.
You heard that. He was single. He was knocking them down.
Not in the beginning.
Leedz was
not in the beginning. At the beginning, it was I had a good couple years of finding my flow. As you
right. After that man was bowling perfect strikes.
Yeah. But you got to remember, we'll get to that.
Got KRS-One, bitch.
But if you guys have probably been to Middle East shows, man, there ain't a lot of women in the building.
Yeah. Especially when you get the hip hop.
It's like 95% dudes.
Yeah, niggas on niggas.
I mean, the Middle East shows kind of they kind of parallel to our following, right?
Yeah.
Like when I'm a big metrics guy, right? So when I look at the metrics and I see we're like 80-something% men. Right.
Yeah.
And then there's 10 or 11%.
15% women, yeah.
But then there's like 2% non-binary, right? We have none of the women in non-binary really supporting us. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that's how the Middle East
I don't think non-binary was even a term.
A thing.
I started in 2004 through my first show, Royce the 5'9".
Wow.
Royce.
That was your first show?
First big show.
Okay.
I did 2 little ones at All Asia, and then I was lucky. I got right into the Middle East. And I did Royce the 5'9". Cunnilinguist was underground rap group.
Wow,
Tone Deaf was a rap like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Pac FM, and then the local artist was Jake the Snake.
Okay.
Who went by and later went by J the S.
Okay.
And we were friends in college, so he was just like that. We always talked about the first show that I put him on. And that's what we did. And I did my first show and lost $3,000.
That's how I go, man.
So all you people that were like, "Oh, promoters make mad money," Not always. So I took a big hit there, but I was young. And rent in Boston was shit. I was living in Walcott Square.
Oh, Walcott.
Paying probably probably like $400.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
You know,
I believe you.
How times have changed.
It was $450. Me and my buddy were paid $900 for a 2-bedroom. And it had like an extra kind of studio room that we had the studio to make the mixtapes and stuff. And that's how cheap it was.
Easy.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Now that shit is $2,400.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. So it was like
2-bedroom.
Yeah.
My buddy just bought it. My buddy just bought a house over there. It was like $800,000.
No, that makes sense. Ain't that some shit? Inflation's a bitch.
Yeah.
But shit, man. I mean, all right. So with your career with the Middle East and you.
So I'll just say it kind of took off from there because all the other promoters quit. They were doing what I was doing. It was so hard to make money. They were just like, we're done. Other Metro Concept packed up. Napster and all these guys labels crashed. The budgets got cut.
Okay.
So everything was done. So it was like I was kind of walking into like the apocalypse of the music industry at the time.
Yeah. Independent world. They weren't selling any records anymore because everybody was downloading it. They couldn't stop it. So the only way really for artists to make money was to do the shows. Yeah.
And everybody was kind of reinventing themselves at that time because everything had been on a major label.
Yeah.
And then those were done. So then everyone was kind of like coming out as independent and they had to do shows. And I was just the only one really willing to do it because it was also incredibly stressful.
Right.
Incredibly stressful.
What do you think the most stressful part about that was?
The financial insecurity, and then you do shows and it'd be fights. You know what I mean? You didn't know that you didn't know who's coming in with who. Certain headliners, crews had beef on the street. There was a lot of things that were like you were juggling in the air that made you nervous. And then just the back and forth of the day of the show. Someone hits you for this. I got a question of this. Put me on the list. I need this person in. I need that person. You're just doing a million different things. Because then I got a stage man. Not only do I got to book the act, I got to promote it, and then I got to stage manage it. You know what I mean? And then worry about making money. Then I got to count the money. Then I got to pay everybody, and then try to make sure everything doesn't blow up at the same point. And then make sure I'm not fall down drunk and high at the end of the night.
He is sick of this shit.
But that was early in my career.
Yeah.
Word.
I didn't come to that revelation now.
What was a budget like that looking like then?
What do you mean?
Like how much would you come out of pocket on average for something like that?
Like how much I would pay somebody or what I lose or make?
I'm just talking about how much would you come out of pocket, period, like for an event. Like,
I mean, that first one that probably came out like 5-6 G's. It was like the last of my savings, and it was all wiped out by the end of it.
Wow.
And I had to go. I had to work another job at the time, and then I was working 2 jobs, and I would flip the money into a show, and I lose another one, and then my 3rd show was Master Killer and Inspector Deck.
Oh wow!
It was the Master Killer No Said Date release party.
Wow.
That's why you
And that one,
Wu-Tang.
and then that one,
Wu-Tang.
yeah. And that one had also had Slain on there. I was working early with Slain.
Shout out to Slain.
Yeah, 'cause that was the other thing. I aligned with the local scene at that point with artists as I was working with.
Right,
Slain was
Leedz.
just coming up at the time, so I aligned with him. Amadeus, Jake the Snake.
I don't hate
again.
you completely.
Right?
I'm working on getting to love you, man.
No, it's all good. Most people hate me at first, and then like Howard Stern says, I grow on you like a fungus.
Right. So, what do you think that came from? Like, where people started hating you?
Well, what happened was, and we talked about this on the phone, was so all of a sudden I'm the only guy throwing shows, and they're losing money. They might be making money, but it's crazy, right? So it's hard to sleep at night because you're worried.
Right.
When you got that type of money on the line. And I wasn't a rich dude. I wasn't a rich dude. Came from money. I'm from
Every shot mattered.
What's your ethnicity? You just straight up American white?
I'm actually part Native American and then a mix of English.
You better claim that shit. Indigenous.
I wasn't going to pull the whole Native American card in here because
that's y'all claim to fame. You know what I'm saying? Y'all love that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I want to keep it low key.
Better use that.
He's like, that motherfucker's pulling the Native American card again. That shit ain't funny, motherfucker.
He's doing the Cherokee thing.
Nah, I like they switched Christopher Columbus Day to Indigenous People Day.
Right.
That make more sense.
My wife doesn't want to do Thanksgiving. We got to go down to Plymouth and the whole.
I dig that.
Really?
I dig that. I dig
Where's your
that.
wife from?
She's from Weymouth.
Okay.
But she's big. She's big into social.
Yo,
issues.
bro, I believe that if she don't want to celebrate Thanksgiving, nigga,
She calls it Native American Holocaust Day.
Wow. I like your wife, man. Shout out to
I
your
like
wife.
your wife, yo. Shout out.
Shout out to your wife.
On dead dogs, like that's
Yeah. So what happened was, then all of a sudden the phone starts blowing up. Put me on the show. I need on the show. Put me on the show. Everybody wants on.
Yeah.
You can't fill that demand. I wasn't doing it in the beginning. I wasn't even doing the volume that I became to do because I was building my rep. Like no one, like there was other venues at the time, and like I had to get to know people, and it took time, it took years.
Right.
So so then everybody got salted because they weren't on the show. So then like the issue was then I don't know what it was then to make it fair and even the playing field.
Pay, motherfucker.
We're gonna talk to that.
Here we go.
Here it is.
I said,
here's the price, motherfucker. If you all go ahead, my fault.
see, that's what people were telling me to do right there. The first one, my buddy at the time, I won't name names. He says, you got to charge everybody to open up. I said, man, I don't know if that's going to work. But what we could find a medium is that, if these opening acts who I've never worked with before want to get on, I would want them to sell tickets to guarantee that they're going to bring the amount of people I need them to bring. And it wasn't an astronomical number. It was like 30, 35. And my theory at the time was if you can't bring that to a Middle East downstairs show with a national headliner, you probably shouldn't be on this show.
That's fair.
But people took it as, yo, pay to play, motherfucker. And my definition of pay to play is, and we'll get into this because I know you want to talk about it. Pay to play to me was, give me $500, I'll put you on the bill.
Right.
That was my definition. And I did that once, and I will admit it. Never did it again. I didn't feel right. And then I said,
what show was that, dude?
I'm not going to say the names of everybody that's involved in that. I'm sure they're not proud they did that.
Like, fuck Lee.
Yeah. I did it once. I'm not going to lie. I did it once, and it just didn't feel right.
Okay.
But what I felt with the
That's
tickets was, I felt like, if you can do it, it's not pay to play. If you do sell the tickets, and some artists did, but I'm not going to lie, most couldn't.
Right.
So they'd come out of pocket.
And that's fair. I'm glad you said that.
And then they'd be like, then it became pay to play because they didn't sell the tickets, and it was non-negotiable with me. It's like there's 10 other people that want this slot are begging me. If you can't do that, you still got to pay.
Right.
So then that just it became a hot topic. Like it became like you were either on one side or another.
Right.
Like you either, and I get where the artists are coming because like you're coming from a place of like it's hard to get on. Again, social media is not what it is yet. Shows are really the only way you're getting exposure.
Right.
So I became like a gatekeeper, but I didn't ever wanted to be.
You
I was the only dude willing to do it.
Gatekeeping Leeds.
Yeah.
But I didn't want that. I never wanted to. I didn't understand. Well, I wanted to do. I just wanted to book the shows I wanted to see. I wanted to make a living. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And I didn't want to deal with any bullshit. I didn't want to worry about fucking making money. Like, and when you've lost a lot of money, it's anybody knows it's fucking traumatizing. You know what I mean? Like, picture that 2 or 3 times a month,
right?
With a bunch of money on the line. So I just wanted. This is what the system I put in place, and not every opening act, local act, did that.
Right.
More established acts didn't have to do that.
Right.
Got paid. It wasn't always that.
Right.
But for the people that didn't, they had to prove themselves and did not work with me. That was the requirement.
Okay.
And I want to say is I like to shout out everybody that did do that because they are responsible for seeing a lot of those headliners that I wouldn't have been able to afford. So let's holler at those guys because headliners were still charging too much fucking money.
Yeah,
it was too hard. The Middle East was $2,000 in rent downstairs.
Wow.
$1,600 per show.
Per
$1,600 in the beginning. It went up to $2,000 by the time I was in.
Wow.
So then you got to pay that. You got to pay your promo expenses, $300 to $500.
Right.
And then you got the headliner, whatever's going to range from $3,000 to $10,000.
Right, depending on who it is.
Tickets back then were like $15 to $20. Now they're like fucking $50. It's like crazy. But so I had a lot of expenses. This wasn't just a pay to play showcase. Right. 15 opening acts coming in to see. Everyone's got to sell. Like this was opening for big names.
Right.
So I felt like I was in my mind. I felt fair. What I realize now is, in the last couple of years of my career, I ended up getting promoted to the Middle East general manager position, talent buyer.
Yes.
I worked my ranks, got in, and then I said, you know what? I'm making money with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the ticket selling process. And I was able for the last 2 years to just curate the shows with the artists that I wanted to do with, and they didn't have to sell tickets. And some of them got paid, some of them just didn't make anything at all, depending on the budget. And I was happy I was able to end the 2 years of my career that way, and because it was just a hot topic. Yeah. It was like I would get along with people, but there was always that stigma of me being this pay-to-play guy asshole. I mean, Charlie even said it to me on the phone.
So that was my
we called you an asshole multiple times up here.
Yeah, I don't know
how many episodes you watch
us, but
we insulted you
maybe 2 or 3 times. You know what I mean?
I don't blame you. I mean, promoters got a terrible rep. We got a bullseye on our friggin' back.
This is true.
Yeah, but you're not Vaseline. You're not Vas Jan. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you know Vas Jan, but promoting and rapping is 2 different things. So like when you dip into the world of rapping, you have to at least like really put up something good.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to rap?
My early days,
on
freestyle,
on his compilation.
Yeah.
There's a freestyle he dropped from '99.
My boy said it to me a year ago, and my friends were like, "You gotta put that on now." I was like, "All right."
I like that compilation. That shit is hard.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
That shit is hard.
Now, but you could actually rap. That's what you're saying.
I mean,
I haven't heard it.
It was a freestyle. Give me credit there.
It was a freestyle, and he didn't. The compilation wasn't him. It wasn't him rapping.
And that compilation is called "The Worker Among Workers."
Yeah, Worker Among Workers. Yeah, I heard
who was on that.
Oh,
Jesus. It was good names.
Who's on it?
There.
Yeah.
Term, Easy Money.
Okay.
Excel the Beast, Slain, Steel Gold, Rex, Smith & Wesson, Black Medine, Bose, Jarv, Edo G, Elder Sensei, Acrobatic.
Go there. What's the producer?
Master Ace. Produced majority of by the Archetype.
All right. Shout out to Arc, man.
Yeah, definitely.
And I heard it on the podcast episode, so the listening episode.
So cool. Appreciate you listening to that.
Yeah, it was a good listen because you really like broke down everything and like you a true hip hop motherfucker.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
And I feel like you hate new shit. Like I feel like ladies.
Before we get into that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot to say about that. But, I want you guys to get your topics in.
I was at Terminology's listening party.
Okay.
Which of the 40 albums?
45, right?
Album number
It
456.
was project number 45, Determination. Recently,
so that's a new one.
At the Arc Studio,
Yep,
right?
yep.
What's Arc Studio called?
The Bridge Sound and
The Bridge
Stage.
Sound and Stage, right?
Yeah.
Shout out Arc, shout out Bridge Sound and Stage.
That studio's whooping your ass on that episode.
Yeah, they were fucking up.
And and I was talking to Term outside, and he was like, "Yo, why haven't you had Leedz on the show?" And I was like, "I don't know if Leedz would want to do our show." Right? And he's like, "Yeah, y'all go crazy on the white people and shit like that." You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, "But holla at him. I think he'd be open to having a conversation."
That's fire.
And I said, "You know what, Term? If Term's telling me to do it, I gotta try at least, right?"
I was, me and Term had a very up and down relationship because Term was one of those guys that was just like at every show backstage.
Term's a fucking legend.
So I was like, I tried
Thanks.
to not like he would show up 10, 20 deep with ST to squad and just be he'd know everybody, so he'd be backstage and bring everybody backstage and want to get everybody in, and it was like this thing I couldn't escape.
Right.
I can't get away from
He
terminology
He
and
mentioned that
ST
too. when we talking
squad.
about that.
Term's
They're
a
not even
fucking
performing.
legend.
Yeah.
But yes,
You want to talk about guerrilla marketing? Term is the
Yo.
what's the word I want to use? Like
The
if you look it up in
antithesis.
a dictionary, like guerrilla marketing is a picture of terminology.
fucking smiling too, smiling like Term too. Nigga, what?
Nah, he ain't gonna smile. It's just gonna be Term.
Just term, yeah, you know what I mean? That's so like honestly one of the hardest working MCs in New England. I really debate who would work harder that I've seen. I've never seen an incessive grind, and it's still going.
Yeah.
So
And
shout
I
out
think
to
it's
him.
revamped.
It's fine tuned.
It is. At this point, it's almost like
He lives in two different cities. He's got
Right.
kids. He's moving around. He's everywhere. I don't know how the dude motherfucker sleeps.
It's a grind that's never gonna stop.
Yeah,
you
but
know what I mean?
when I say revamped, I say like because hip hop circling back.
Right? Yeah, you mentioned that.
Like, man, like the true fans of like the real hip hop is coming back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We always been here.
Yeah, but it's like like we go away because like big shit
Life.
pop. Yeah,
Life,
Yeah.
life. We have to follow life.
Yeah.
Life sometimes takes us down, takes us away, but we come back.
And all right, so talking about taking away and coming back,
Yeah.
right? So there's new versions of you out here, right?
Me?
Of the music promoters, right?
Oh, new versions
There's new
of.
versions of guys who
Leeds.
want their accolades. who
Oh,
are-
and wannabe
who-
promoters?
who are bringing their
There's still some
talents
left.
out here.
Absolutely.
Who's left?
How much do you know about the Kid Fast Jam?
I don't know anything about him.
You've never heard of him?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay. All right. That's a really safe answer.
I worked with different promoters when I was at the Middle East and became a talent buyer. I would rent the room to
Right.
other promoters, and other promoters there was a lot of challenges with because, I mean, as bad as people thought I was with the ticket selling thing, people were taking that to a whole nother friggin' level. I mean, it was like ridiculous what people were charging and the amount of acts that they would put on a show.
Well, that's,
you'd see a show with like 15 acts.
Damn, at the Middle East.
and that's why.
In
that's
Naga, remember Naga?
Right.
Right.
Up the street.
Jeez, they were doing crazy shit in there. And yeah, I mean that shit would spill out on the Middle East. Can I get some gunshots for that? Naga, industry night, boom, boom.
Naga was crazy.
Here we go.
I do remember Naga.
Dude, that place, I don't know what was going on, man. Dudes were getting shot, stabbed. That shit kept going, man. I was like, what's that place in Roxbury with the great chicken Packies? It was like the Packies at Cambridge, dog.
Shit.
Shout out to Maggie.
Shout out to Maggie. Where you get shot and stabbed, but you get some good chicken, nigga.
Yeah, but they didn't have good chicken there. They had nothing. So I mean, other promoters, it was tough. No one. That's why I kind of stood out because I was just a follow through guy. Like
Right.
I would do what I said I would do, and a lot of promoters don't do that. I hate to say it, or like you said, they want to be in the spotlight,
Right.
or they want to be a rapper, and you can't really do it.
Do
There's
both.
too much work.
Right.
You know, I remember in the beginning I would host the shows, co-host the shows, And I was like, that's too much. For
He was like, man, you want
I'm like yelling at this guy, and then I got to shut it off and get on stage and be like, hey, coming on next.
Right. But the reason why I asked that is really just because you stepped away from the pay to play, right?
The last few, like you said, the ticket selling, if you want to call it pay to play.
Right. It is pay to play, right?
You're happy to call it whatever you want to call it.
If you break it down the way it comes down to.
If you don't sell the tickets, it's pay to play.
Right, if
you sell the tickets, you made money.
Because I mean, you said it yourself. Not everybody did that, right?
No, but
not all of them did.
Some people thought it was worth the exposure, I guess.
Right.
just being next to, you know what I mean? That person.
Some people, it was the only opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you stopped doing that, how did you pay these rappers, or they were just performing for free?
No, I pay some of them. A lot of times with local support, how it works is the headliner, you dictate the local support budget.
Right.
The promoter doesn't necessarily even say it.
Right.
Like, let's just say Royce to 5'9". It's like, I'm coming through. I need an offer. Budget for $150 local support. $200 for equipment.
Right.
Shit like that. So sometimes the budget's already set.
Right.
So if they were like, oh, you have 150 local, $200, $150 local budget, I'd break it up generally between two people.
Right.
Or sometimes they'd be like, we want an opener, but we're not going to pay anybody.
Right.
So then I reach out to people and be like, listen, you want to do the gig? It's not any money, but let me know if it's worth it. Some would say yes, some would say no.
Right. Okay.
More established artists probably say no. They can make their own, money doing their own shows, but people that wouldn't, can't make as much, they probably would want the opportunity.
All right. That's fair.
So that's how it worked. I'm all about these days making sure everybody gets paid.
And that's fair. And I respect that.
What I didn't understand also is, I could see why people getting mad at me because I was making money. I wasn't living large.
Right.
Blue collar to the bone lifestyle. Never made six figures ever.
Wow.
It's hard to look at someone making money when you're not making money.
Right.
And be like, what the fuck?
Right.
And unfortunately, I was short-sighted in that. I didn't understand the role in the community because I just didn't understand it. I was just like, I'm not a community guy. Like, I'm just trying to throw these events, but when you're the only only one doing it, you become this.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, like, through trial and error, and I just kind of opened my eyes to things I just learned, and I've tried to take that all into consideration now.
Now, have you ever felt like you were like imposing on a culture that wasn't for you?
I was, I always felt like I worked for less. You know what I mean? So I wasn't like I was imposing. I was like, I was the only one willing to do it. So I felt like I wasn't really like imposing. You know what I mean?
Right.
People were grateful that I was doing it. The club needed me to do it. The Middle East, they didn't have someone that knew hip hop.
Right.
And these shows wouldn't have happened probably if I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I don't know who would have booked some of these shows if I didn't do it.
What are those people like over there that run the Middle East?
It depends what era you're talking about, but it's all pretty wild. There's no structure, so everything kind of goes crazy.
Because the reason why I asked that is, I don't feel like the Middle East really fucks with the community, like the black community, at least.
It's in Cambridge.
It's in Cambridge. One.
So, like, what I found out was, like, dudes in Dorchester and Mattapan looked at Cambridge as like another country.
Right.
Like, for certain shit, like,
yeah, they used to call it Lanebridge.
Yeah, dudes were like, I don't want to go to Cambridge, and a lot of dudes were like, Middle East, no chicks. You know what I mean? Right. So, like, they want to go to the club. Right. They go to Naga.
Right. Naga got the hoe. Bang, bang, bang.
And we had dudes from the black community on security working. They were tied in, and I'd listen to them and I'd talk to them, and there was times where certain artists were on the shows that had to be removed because they were like, shit's just too crazy. The streets between these rival crews. I remember one show, it was like 2 days before, there was like someone got killed, and then another one retaliating got killed, and the dude that was performing was tied to it. We had no choice but to pull him.
Just to pull him.
And I didn't know that.
Right.
Dudes working on the Middle East knew that.
Okay.
And they weren't white.
All right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it always came down to, and people accused me of being racist and, not fucking with certain people from the community. But to me, it was all about the music.
Right.
So when you have artists that would glorify violence, and I'm not trying to put a stigma on everybody,
Right.
but when you did that, and there was certain artists that you knew this is going to be dicey, right? Local or national, didn't matter. You didn't want to run that risk. You know what I'm saying? If a shooting or I survived shootings, like, you know what I mean? Like, there was no shootings at my club. Someone pulled a gun once. Luckily, we got it away. Okay. But that would have been it for me.
Right.
If someone had gotten shot, it's it for the Middle East. It's it for everybody. It's it for the whole community because these shows ain't happening no more.
Right. Yeah.
So there was an element of extra precaution with certain artists that we thought that were like, this is just too dicey. But we pushed the envelope pretty heavy.
Well, I accused you of that.
No, I'm sure you did. Many
You
people did.
know what I mean? That you took wind of because I actually tagged you on Instagram. Recently, what show was it? It was a Zip show. It was Shooters Music. I know Shay Bands was going to be there. I'm not sure who else was going to be there and things of that nature. But either way,
you thought I canceled the show.
I thought you were still on the bill for the Middle East. And I was like, yo, is Leedz behind this shit? Like, did he fucking...
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I've canceled shows, my own shows. I never went out and canceled anybody else's show.
Right.
I never went out to somebody and say, you know what? You should cancel this show. I never did that. I've had Boston PD come up to me and be like, this show should not happen, and still do it.
Wow.
I've had Gang Unit show up at venues and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Wow.
You know, so I know what it feels like to be the end of it. I mean, I had just so you know, I had an all-white hip-hop show. R.A. the Rugged Man and Copyright get canceled because they thought it was a rough crowd.
Really?
Now it's Boston.
R.A. the Rugged Man.
So that's what I'm saying. Cambridge was way more fucking lenient.
Wow.
Cambridge was open-minded and was more open to all cultures. I mean, Middle East did everything. It's the most diverse venue I've ever seen in my life. Okay. They don't care what it was.
It went down at the Middle East.
Boston, before the Middle East, did not do any hip-hop shows at all.
There was no shows.
There was no shows in the 90s. That OG says there's no shows in the 90s. Snoop Dogg didn't come until the year 99 or 2000.
Wow.
Peak of his career.
They
were all in Rhode Island. Wow. I ended up at one in Rhode Island. It was wild. Biggie and Mobb Deep and
I believe that.
Method Man was supposed to be there.
What year was that?
95.
95.
I believe that.
I was 5 years old.
I saw the biggest riot you've ever seen in your life.
I can imagine.
It was the Philly Blunts days, so it was just guts everywhere. You couldn't see the floor. You're stepping on like Philly Blunts, 40s flying everywhere, dog.
You ever do a show at the Almighty RSO on May Ben?
Benzino showed up at a Noriega show I did once.
Okay.
Everybody was on edge. Everyone was on edge. Every time I've been anywhere that Benzino shows up, the temperature in the room drops like 10 degrees. and everyone's like, oh no. Benzino's here. And I don't have anything against the guy. I don't even know him. I've never done a show with him. We never even talked about doing it. But he's just. When I first started doing shows, people were like, "Yo, Benzino robbed a lot of venues. Like showing up, and like to the place next to the Middle East, the TT the Bears. Wow. They're like, we'll never do a Benzino show because there are people that robbed the door." He was like,
"Hey, yo, what's up, man? Yes, because
of his own show.
Like, how many people in there? I got 100 people in there.
Let me get that.
Shout out to Benzino, man. Boston legend.
Boston legend on that, dog.
Benzino, man.
What was you?
Ray Dog.
Where was you at when that Fleet Center situation happened with the Locks and Almighty RSO, man? Was you there?
I wasn't around for that.
You wasn't in the building? No, you wasn't there for that?
I did a Locks show on my 10-year anniversary.
Okay.
Fire.
I believe that.
They first got back together and started doing shows.
Yeah.
We played the Middle East downstairs. 2014.
2014. Shout out to Locks.
And that show was off the hook.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And especially that was what's so great about the Middle East because it was in a basement. Sound system was great. It was tight, low ceilings, the sound, and you just felt like you were. You just felt like you were so.
3-man rap group is dead, Leedz.
I heard you say that earlier. I'm gonna say I love a lot of 3-man rap groups, but they're not current.
As of late. As of late.
There's none. There's no current. What's the closest you got? Flatbush Zombies, and even they I think broke up. And I did do Migos, by the way. I did do
Zombies. That's where
you like Migos.
No, I don't. But I did. But I did.
I do that shit.
Listen, I did a lot of shows with a lot of artists I didn't like. Towards the end of my career, I have to say, as show promoter, it became more of that.
The money had to be right.
Well, if I kept doing the classic shit, I would have been out of business.
Yeah, right.
Come on, bro.
So I saw hip hop go through like many different changes. The Migos change was, and Migos was dicey in the beginning. I don't know if you guys remember. They got caught with like freaking automatic weapons.
Yeah.
It was all this shit, man.
Yeah,
It was all a legend.
So they were so they were supposed to play the Paradise, and that some shit went down. They canceled all the shows. So Live Nation wouldn't touch the fucking shows.
Wow.
So they called me.
Hey, Leedz.
They're like, oh, Leedz.
Leedz will do it. He ain't
Like, what do you want to do?
shit.
Migos downstairs? And I'm like, fuck it. Yeah, let's go, man. Because like the buzz was still crazy. So I was like, yo, let's do it. It was right when they started doing the fuck. Was
Dab.
Yeah.
Fucking dab.
Duh.
Yeah, so-
Leedz is sick. The fuck were they doing?
No. This is like when you come from the classic hip hop era.
I get it.
And Migos is on stage doing
I'm
this.
enjoying
I was like
this,
that.
Leedz.
That's what happened. I was like, I look at my buddy. I was like, what am I doing with my life? But we're getting paid.
So that goes back to what Cash was talking about. Yeah. You don't like the new motherfuckers, man.
Nah.
You know what?
If
If you can come correct on the mic over, I don't care if it's a trap beat, drill beat, boom bap beat, drum loop beat, no drum beat. You come correct, I'll listen to it.
Okay.
But dudes ain't coming correct these days, man. It's too much. It's too much copycat. I mean, it's always been copycat, but it's really bad copycat. It's very
terrible,
one dimensional. They're pushing this one thing. I feel like, and it's just all it is. The trap sound I don't love, but if a dude was nice on the beat, raps over it, I like it. But the trap sound is redundant to me. I don't love it.
Redundant how?
It sounds, a lot of the beats sound the same to me.
Okay.
Now people said that about the boom bap beat, so I might be biased in that thing, but I don't love the groove as much as I love boom bap. Like boom bap is just like, it's just like I love the way those drums hit, whereas the trap is like it's slower, right? Or it's faster depending on how you go.
What
it's
producer
like
it is. Right.
more southern, speed tempos.
Right.
So to me, that's not like, I don't love that, but I will listen to it. You know what I mean? Like Kendrick Lamar raps over that shit. It's
You
cool.
like Griselda.
I do. I didn't see them as the big underground Renaissance revival that everybody else did in Boston. I was happy to see it.
Why is that?
I just thought that it was just too much one thing. I thought it was too one-dimensional.
Too
It
raw.
was just too street. It was all it was. You know what I mean? And I wanted something a little more like.
So can we say that conscious rap is real?
I would like to say that I'm into conscious rap, but I like a balance of it all. Like, to me, a great album is something that touches on many diverse different things, but stays cohesive, and the sound is cohesive. And when I did my compilation, I tried to keep that mentality. So it's like when you have one person rapping, when you have it just one thing, and a lot of these underground albums, I hate to say it, are just one thing. They're churning them over so fast. Here's this one album. All the shit kind of sounds the same. It's one listen and you're done. And they're on to the next because it's just, they just want to keep that algorithm going. Yeah. So it's more about how fast I can turn it over versus I'm going to put some quality time into it. Right. You know what I mean? So I think like that's a big issue.
But can you agree that what your opinion on music is not what the consensus is?
It's not the masses.
Right.
And that's fine.
Because I don't like XL the Beast at all. Like, not even a little bit.
That's fine.
But that's your man's.
It's my man's, but music, I understand that music is subjective.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, what I like, you might not like. What you like, I might not like.
But you know what, Leedz? Knowing what I know about your taste in music, we would like a lot of the same things.
And I'm sure we do.
So what makes you like a XL the Beast?
I think he's got bars. I think he's got a great voice, and he's a good dude.
Good voice. Good voice.
You got a great
voice.
Good voice.
I mean,
I can't
it's
attest
fine.
to the bars, and I don't know him as a man, so I can't say he's a good dude.
Yeah.
But voice, yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's where the subjective of where music connects to you for whatever reason.
Right.
Like, you tell me you like West Side Gun.
Right.
I'm gonna be like, I don't really like
He
West
don't
Side
got
Gun.
bars. He don't got bars.
He don't really.
I don't really like Conway the Machine.
You don't like
Wow,
Conway the Machine?
Don't say that. You didn't mean that. You didn't mean that, Leeds.
My God.
He don't do it for me.
Mean that
But he
shit.
don't do it for. But
You like Benny?
Benny, I think is the best out of the three.
Well, yeah, everybody does. Everybody thinks
Everybody
that.
got like Benny.
But it's like,
You heard of Stove Got Cooks?
yeah, I don't like him that much.
You
either.
don't like Stove God
See?
Cooks?
All right.
See?
I'm
You
so
see?
fucking offended.
See, this is. What
I
I'm
hate
talking
you
about.
again. I was so close.
But I tell you who I love.
Sold the brick,
Tell
got the
me.
church parking lot.
Who I think that-
Hallelujah.
You know who I think is the best out of all that?
Oh,
Ransom.
wow. Ransom's cool.
I like Ransom.
I think Ransom's got the best bars. I like witty wordplay. I like intelligence.
Yeah.
I like saying
like
something.
intelligent, right.
I like saying something that's not been said a million fucking times.
Right.
All right.
So when you get someone like Ransom, who I think has reinvented himself amazingly, he's not as popular as everybody else.
No.
But I think on the mic, as lyricist, none of those dudes, street underground dudes, Renaissance guys, are touching.
All right.
They might be more
That's a good
popular.
name. That's a good name. He like Kendrick too. And he like Cole. You know he like
Yeah,
Cole.
we know you like
You know,
Cole.
we know.
Yeah, I mean, Cole is cool, but I mean, that Forest Hills album, everybody made a big deal about. I thought it was all right.
I
That
thought
shit
it
was
was
straight. That shit was straight.
I think that was more for the ladies.
I want to talk about local shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
word.
Because Avenue throws it up for you.
Yeah.
He tweeted something the other day
Yep.
saying that we can't talk about the culture or something like that without mentioning Leeds out here.
That's nice.
Something along those lines. I'm
Yeah, he
gonna
was
throw it
talking-
up when I'm
yeah.
editing it.
I remember it. It was.
But what are your relationships with a lot of these local guys, man?
I've tried to mend many of them.
Okay.
Because I felt like I was at war with the local scene for a while. Because I was.
Facts. You were.
Because I was. Because I was. My goal was really booking the headliners, not the locals.
Right.
But I really, I did like them, but it would go in phases because I also make music too.
Right.
So like I would, make music with the local scene and you get tight with a lot of them, and then that would go away. But it was always because the local scene I always felt was demanding too much of me, too much of my time, space, all this other stuff. And but what I learned is after looking at the big picture of hip hop and the world, that where I'm most useful is in a local community.
Wow.
But I didn't understand that for a lot of my career. I just thought I was thinking too big.
Wow.
I was like, I want to expand out of
That's interesting. I'm glad you said that.
because I think, and this is where I think people trip themselves up on, because there used to be this theory of like you got to get out of Boston to make it. And that's not true. No,
Not anymore, especially not anymore.
Yeah, especially now because social media, you can be anywhere and anything.
Fuck
If you
the
made
internet.
it,
Metaverse.
if you made like weird like Bay Area music, yeah, you should move to the Bay.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you're making, you can nowadays you can make any type of music and
Flourish
promote
anywhere.
it. So I was like, you know what, this scene, I'm more useful here, I'm more needed here. This is, and I like the music that comes out of here.
Right.
So I was like, you know what, let me get this right. And I spent a lot of time amending relationships, man. You
Like
know what I
who?
mean? What?
Like with who?
Ed OG was one.
Okay.
Acrobatic was one.
Shout out Acrobatic, LOG.
Acrobatic.
Those guys did not like Term. I mean, me and Term are at war for many years. I mean,
Okay.
Slain, me and him went back and forth.
These all motherfuckers that was on the album too.
There's a lot more I'm forgetting. But I mean,
fine.
there was a lot of people that, I had to like talk to and walk off ledges and show them where I was coming from. Because like I said, you know how hip hop paints promoters.
Right.
Yeah.
We are the enemy.
Yeah, fuck y'all
Record
niggas.
label promoter, like the bad guys.
Right.
And then guess what? I'm white.
Yeah. Doesn't help you there, buddy.
So honestly, I never really. Honestly, to me, it was just about the work.
So what do you think inspired that tweet from Avenue the other day?
I mean, I worked with Avenue in the beginning of his career. When you work with someone in the beginning of their career and you see them grow and you've worked with them in that process,
Right.
it's just kind of a connection you make with somebody. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, that's history to both of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Avenues, I remember his first sold out show in the Middle East upstairs. It was crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And his progress, and then him linking with Frank, and they've done great things. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So I mean, I didn't see, like we didn't work together a ton, but we did some great stuff, and I'm sure he went to shows before he was a performer.
Of course,
too, and he's got
Absolutely.
like a long, huge history of seeing some of his favorite acts, and that's what it
Right.
comes down to. People saw. My biggest accomplishment was probably bringing the acts that people wanted to see, that they can remember and say, "Wow, that was a fucking great show."
What do you think your most memorable show was?
Pete Rock, DJ Premier.
Yeah.
Ain't you
yeah.
never
All right, I'm
been
gonna
one of them-
start. We're gonna go a 3-man group. Ghetto Boys downstairs.
I mean, yeah.
Come on,
Done.
3-man.
That's the ghetto boy.
Yeah, that's probably the ultimate.
One of them is dead, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like
That reunion was crazy. Scarface solo show. DMX randomly shows up.
wow.
That was insane.
Wow. That
top
is
3
insane.
crackheads of all time.
So I'll give you a little funny story on that one. So Scarface is is doing the solo show, and he comes up to me. He's like, "Listen, DMX, Swizz Beats are coming.
Wow.
Get ready." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'm ready." Because people say that shit to you all the time. They tell you celebrities are coming to the
Yeah.
list. They never show up 95% of the time.
Right.
All of a sudden,
The dog shows.
All of a sudden,
Oh.
my stage manager, at this point I have a stage manager. He's like, "Dude, DMX is outside the fucking Middle East, dude, taking a piss."
Yeah.
Like, so
Hey,
what's
so-
up? What? Who's the
Yeah.
guy that told me to
Yeah.
come over?
Yeah.
This guy named Leedz?
Where's the show?
Where's Leedz?
Where's the show?
50 deep.
Leedz
Yeah.
inside.
Yo, 50 deep outside the
course.
Middle East. Security's like, "I gotta fucking pat down all these motherfuckers." Come in the back door. People don't know the Middle East had this fucking back door loading dock. He comes through the back. He was mad fucked up. Swizz Beats is in an interview talking about how he picked him up and it sounded like a rehab while he fucking relapsed on the way to the fucking show.
Yo, and what year
And-
is this?
Again, I think it was like 2014, 15.
Wow.
Might have been a little later, 16, 17.
Yeah.
First Scarface solo show in Boston in God knows how long.
Wow.
Which was a bucket list for me.
Wow. Congratulations.
So we did that, and then so all of a sudden, Scarface's on stage. And he's like, "Make some noise for DMX." I was like, "Dun, dun, 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 dun." Show wasn't sold out. It was probably like 350 people there.
Wow.
And he's out there, and he does that, and he goes on this big spiel about how much he loves Scarface and all this other shit. And then goes and hangs in the crowd the whole time, all fucked up, doing all crazy shit. It was just
That's amazing.
people that bought those tickets for $20 that night.
They got their money's worth.
That's like
and
fucking
some.
Willy Wonka golden fucking
Are you
ticket.
shitting
On
me?
dead dogs.
Chilling with fucking the dog.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine being a motherfucker in the crowd that this nigga was.
Who
next
do you
to.
like? Who do you guys like? I'll tell you if I've booked them and what the show was like.
As far as what, locally or
Whatever.
Big?
50?
Didn't do 50.
Nah, I mean,
Did Lloyd Banks? And he
I know
brought,
you did Lloyd Banks.
and he brought out Tony Yeo as a surprise guest.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Yayo. I
yeah.
love Banks too, though.
Yeah, but the Banks we did twice. The second time we just brought Yeo out.
You
That was
like Banks?
I do.
All right.
Yeah,
You ever had like a Ghostface solo show?
I have. That was a great show.
Ghostface.
That was great.
I mean, the chef, obviously.
Yep,
yeah.
I've done Raekwon. That was a great show. That was an amazing show.
Yeah, I mean, the chef's the shit. I mean, when we talk about like that era of rap, I mean,
Raekwon's show was so ill because the shit he says between the songs.
Yeah.
He's just such a real dude, and he
Yeah.
really knows how to connect. It was like a Mortal Technique. When Mortal Technique show,
shout out
songs are
Mortal
good.
Technique, Yeah.
Songs are good.
Damn.
The shit he says in between the songs.
You
just
had to
gets
be
so
there to
people-
get it.
the
Right.
energy at a Mortal Technique show to this day is still tough to top.
Mm.
You can just feel it coming off the fucking. It's
Mm.
crazy. We did it on 9/11 too.
I mean, I don't really think there's a lot of shows that I feel like, like obviously, have you done a Nas show?
No, there's those type of shows are just too big for me.
Right. So like that's what I mean. Like so you talk about like legacy rap, right? Like those are legacy rappers. But so is Ghostface, so is Raekwon, right?
Yeah.
But I really want to talk to you more about like who are the local guys you're checking for right now? Boston based, Cambridge,
You blew his fucking tire, bro.
North Shore, South Shore.
I mean, I work with a lot of the guys I like. I know you're not you're super fan of XL the Beast, but like
Not really.
Yeah,
Actually,
Easy
not at
Money.
all.
I think. Who do I like?
Shout out Easy Money, man. That's my guy.
Do you want new artists or just in general?
Who you like to work with the most, as far as like as far as their talent pool and like their talent level, and how far you feel like their career can go.
It's hard for me just to think off the top of the head without looking. Locally, huh? Let me. I come from many different eras.
Right. You've been through it.
So the early era, Ed OG, what I mean? Like legend, still doing it, and he still makes good records.
Right.
And then and Mr. Lift and Acrobatic is incredible live MC.
Right.
A lot of these guys might be good on record, but these guys aren't always good live.
Right.
Especially now with the whole rapping over your vocals thing.
Right.
These guys didn't do that and could captivate an audience.
Right.
Next era coming up after that, was the era I was a part of. Slane was a big deal with that. I mean,
shout out Slane.
Slane was I thought it was a great lyricist. He was crazy white Irish dude.
Right.
Working with House of Pain. House of Pain was
I
loved House of Pain.
Right.
And he was good. We were friends, and then I managed an artist, Right Hook, at the time. He was dope. He don't really making music anymore. And then Black Medine, who were good friends of mine.
Yeah.
They were doing things. That era, I'm trying to think who's coming. I mean, Millie's. You can't really deny. Millie's. I mean, the crazy thing about Millie's is how long he was doing it before he actually has gotten the success he has had.
Right.
And to have stuck with it that long.
Right.
Fucking marathon.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because most people would have hung the fuck up.
That's a fact. Shout out Millie's.
And it's got not, whether you like his music or not, you know what I mean? Like
that motherfucker grinded to where he's at.
He was all in from day one.
Yeah.
Another one that I had trouble with in the beginning, we, mended bridges.
Okay.
So Cambridge. So yeah, Millie's, and then I'm just saying, who else? You want to throw me some names? That might help me. Who's doing it?
I mean, how do you feel about a Oompa?
Yeah, who else, man?
Oompa, I like the early stuff, but when I listened to the newer stuff, it felt like it wasn't hip hop anymore. It was more in the whole alternative lane. Am I wrong saying that?
Yes and no, because you have to listen to the whole project, right?
I
Maybe the loose singles. Like she did a house record that took off. I forget the name of the record, but she did a house record that I loved it. And I loved it. And she does a lot of R&B. She sings too. But it's still hip hop at its essence, like at its root.
I feel like you were like Milkshot Benedict.
I do know him. I do know him. I don't know a ton of his stuff. I mean, I love Stiz. Stiz was a great dude.
Cousin Stiz is the guy.
That new song, Blessings, is fire.
That's the guy.
Yeah, so I mean,
Cousin
Cousin Stiz. Dorchester native.
Yeah. What about Dutch Rebel?
Dutch Rebel's always, is a good friend. You know what I mean? I've been a supporter of hers. Like I said, I've seen all these people come. So it's like I've been be able to witness all of this, you know? I honestly, like, to me, Boston, I don't like to put it all into Boston category. I like to say New England.
Right.
Because I feel like New England as a unit is more those states can't stand on their own.
Exactly.
But if we put it all together, it's way more powerful.
Exactly.
And plus, like, Boston, I get it. Boston dudes are sensitive. You ain't from fucking Boston. You know what I mean?
Said like a true New Hampshire native. You know what I mean?
I'm New England. I tell people New England.
I like New England.
But I'm going to tell you, lived in Boston for 20 years.
Yeah.
Hyde Park, Dorchester. In a Little Roxbury, if you count Northeast.
I like it. There you go.
Okay.
But it's like I think if you put the whole New England together, like the Patriots,
there you
know what I mean? Like
that was
all
genius.
Pats fans.
That was genius.
I look at it like that. I say, like, that is the Cole Collective is incredible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so let's go back to the BMAs, Boston Music Awards. Right?
Yeah, why didn't you get one of those?
Oh, Still Gold. I forgot to mention Still Gold. You asked me about local artists.
Still Gold.
Okay.
Still Gold. Archetype's my man.
I heard
I mean, Archetype as a producer.
Yeah.
in Boston and in
yeah,
the whole entire rap game.
Everybody respects that man.
That dude is really the unsung hero.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, yeah, for real.
Nah.
So shout out to
He was
Art,
the
man.
genius
For
of
real,
your
man.
whole thing. You were good. You were good.
We gotta throw it all the way up for Art, man.
A musician. What makes him great is he's a musician first,
Yes,
and the beats come later.
yes.
So it's not just sample chop, whatever.
Word.
It's from a musical standpoint. And that's
Word.
what a lot of the greats are,
Word.
in my opinion.
And when you're white, you have to be really great.
What'd you say?
Yeah,
For you
gotta
to-
be good.
when you're white, you have to be really great. To be honest, to survive in rap as a mediocre rap
It's
like
tough.
white guy, bro, is there really a
won't
career
lie.
with being
No, it
mediocre?
is, you know.
You got to be
You
exceptionally
gotta
well.
stand out.
You really do. Like you
Yeah.
got to be that guy,
On that
right?
note.
And that's and I
He's
I
like the
feel-
Michael McDonald of.
I don't even know who
That's
is.
from the Doobie Brothers. You don't know that?
No, I wasn't
Taking
Doobie
it to
Brothers.
the street.
No, I'm sorry.
It's a little before your time, but
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
saying
sorry,
he
bro.
had mad cred. I'm just saying.
I mean,
Look it up.
yeah.
Big Daddy Kane was a huge fan.
All right, okay. All right. But back to the BMAs, right? So the BMAs, right? You've never won an actual Boston Music Award.
No,
Why do you think that is?
you know, I would have said a long time ago. You know, I've gone in on him before. I don't know if you saw me. I went in on him.
Yeah, I know.
I wasn't like a community guy. I
Right.
wasn't. I didn't make those extra efforts. I hate to say it. You know what I mean? That was probably my biggest mistake is I didn't network and politic with, especially outside of the hip hop world.
Right.
Like I didn't exist.
Right.
And, you know, I was competitive. I was defensive. You know, I didn't like everybody.
I don't like niggas.
It sounds like us.
You know, I was like, yo.
But we
like,
still won one.
You know, I was like, yeah. Cause,
We bullied our way in.
yeah.
I told
they
them
were
I was
probably
gonna
shit.
steal
We,
some shit.
they were probably like, shit, man. If we don't give it to them, fuck, what's going to happen?
They're gonna show up to the award show.
Fuck, man. They're going to be here anyway.
Either way.
They're coming.
Either
They're going to
way,
storm the
let's
door.
go. We're dominated. You dominated. That's an invite.
Yeah. This is a political move.
It might could have been.
It probably was.
It probably was.
Oh, that dog. What else?
But you know, it's so I you know how it is, man. You know, we're all competitive. That's what that's the biggest mistake I make. I think I was too competitive with everybody. You know, I was like, I'm trying to be number one. I feel like I am number one. Get the fuck out of my way. And if you know you don't like it, fuck you.
Right.
You know, you don't like the way I do things, fuck you. And that was the wrong approach. But I was drinking a lot. I was high. I had a fucking ego. You
Toast.
Know, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand community. I was selfish. So
But-
I learned it with time. But the BMAs I got mad at because they fucked, the category was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, they were saying, the promoters, they were saying promoter of the year. I wasn't even listed. I was doing way more shows than most other promoters at the time.
Right.
And they were listing these talent buyers that worked for the corporations. So they were listing the talent buyers that worked for Live Nation and AEG.
These big names.
And I was like, dude, these guys aren't promoters.
Right.
These guys are talent buyers. They're working for the evil empire in my mind at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I went in on them. I was like, your shit's inaccurate.
Right.
And then, you know, squeaky wheel gets greased. So next year I was nominated. And I still didn't win. I still did. The next year I was nominated. And I lost to a guy that was promoting that I got a job for and was promoting shows with no stage. So at that point I was
nice.
like, again, but he probably had more friends and community behind him to vote. And that's really what it is. It's the Boston Music Awards is more about, you know, you got to be nominated by people that know who the fuck you are. But really, when it comes down to winning, in a lot of cases, it's about who's going to campaign.
Right.
And you guys probably did a great job with that too. I'm guessing.
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah.
Miscount.
Yeah, I mean,
Miscount.
They already know.
I want to recount, dude.
They already know if I show up in that building.
So 21 when we won last year, I didn't expect to win. I'm not gonna lie. Just because we was up against some guys that's been around the scene for a while, and we was like, all right, well, we're really like there's no script to this shit. we don't give a fuck. We say whatever the fuck's on our mind.
See that?
We fucking.
He's like,
you know what I mean, we go crazy.
Yo.
You know what I mean, and we're keeping it light right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, these motherfuckers ain't gonna fuck with us, bro.
No, they're not.
Again, we better fucking let them win.
Right. So I didn't think it was even possible. Like I was like, yeah, we'll show up for the nomination, whatever. But now I wholeheartedly feel that there really isn't another music podcast that's fucking with us.
I think it's good, man. This is a great setup.
And I'm just
You
being
guys are great
honest,
personalities
like, you know
too,
what I mean?
man.
Thank you, bro.
You did a great job.
You know what I mean,
You're not an asshole.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
You're not.
No.
You know?
I worked on myself a lot. You know,
I believe that at a point when you say like the competitive shit that you were an
I
asshole.
was definitely an asshole. There's
right.
no doubt about it. I was an asshole. I think.
What was the wildest shit you ever said to somebody?
Because you got threatened, right? Motherfuckers
Many
threatened
times.
you.
Many times.
So
Death
when you
threats.
was like, looked at a motherfucker, you was like, man, you bitch.
So let's say you come to the Middle East and you're like, I want to be backstage. Security guard goes to me, goes, is this guy allowed backstage? And I don't know you. I say, no. What are you going to say about me?
Bitch ass nigga.
Yeah. That shit spread fast.
Right.
That shit spread mad fast.
That's a rhetorical question.
Exactly. So when someone says Leedz is an asshole, a lot of times what I learned in the beginning was that I had to become kind of one to run a show.
Right.
So there was a lot of that too. Like,
Right.
You can't come back here. You're not getting in for free. You can't perform. Who are you? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Practicing saying no.
that was.
I do that shit all the time.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Fuck no.
you know, and that's why a lot of people couldn't handle being a
Get the
promoter.
fuck up out of here, nigga.
Hell no.
And I
To the
honestly,
no.
and honestly, and back then I had no problem saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, I felt so like.
Nah, don't change that.
No
shit.
shine on my dime, motherfucker.
I
You
don't
know what I
know.
mean?
Shine on my
I ain't-
fucking
I ain't mad at
dime.
You know what I mean?
Pussy.
Pussy.
But now I know that ain't the approach. The approach is
come
the approach is to acknowledge you and give you a more disengaging response.
A participation award.
Listen, man, I'm sorry, man.
What he's saying is he's a little he's a
He's
little too
PC.
old to go crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You see this?
Plus,
trick,
I don't want to
motherfucker.
fucking argue with anybody.
Yeah. Right. Just shoot him. I mean,
yeah,
lawyer up later.
Yeah, it's all. Whoa.
This guy red, bro.
Am I making it out of here?
He's red, bro. He's red as fuck, bro.
I ain't gonna lie, dude. When he
Yeah.
first asked me to do it, I was like, "This is total setup." I'm thinking like Mob Deep, like fucking just set up, like I go fucking.
Nah, we're gonna do that to you, man. But
That's why I called him. I was like, "All right, man, what are we talking about here?"
Nah, this is good, man.
how do you feel like you stack up against the music promoters of the year for this BMA?
Not this year. I mean, this year I promoted like 2 shows. You
Yeah,
know?
I was surprised that you was even nominated.
I know.
I'm not
I
gonna
really.
lie.
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
he was nominated.
He is nominated.
Yeah, I didn't vote.
I'm
for
a little
you.
upset
just
my
being
album didn't get
I
nominated.
didn't
Did you vote for
you.
us?
What?
Did you vote for us? Though?
Yeah, of course.
You did? You're
I
not
can't-
lying because you're sitting here right now.
Did I vote for you?
I hope.
Who else was on there?
It doesn't matter.
I think I usually vote for who I know.
Okay, so that's fair.
I get it.
I might have. I might
voted
not
for
have.
Basjan.
You did?
Yes, for
The fuck is wrong
promoter,
with
bro.
you, bro?
Honestly, I think.
promoter?
Nah, fuck Vashjan. I'm not voting for that motherfucker ever again.
For
I-
promoter,
No.
he
No.
promotes
I,
good
I voted for show off marketing. My man Brandon, man. Shout out my man Bedlam, man. Shout out Big. I'm just being honest, Leeds. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
You know, he's done a little bit more than you this year.
No, he's
know
like,
what I'm
well, you know,
saying?
well,
I mean,
and
he's done a
he's-
lot more than you this year.
To be honest, like he's a workhorse.
And he don't give a fuck.
He's been around longer than me, and he's still on the street.
And he don't say.
He's,
yeah.
you know, I said talking about the guerrilla marketing in the beginning.
He was
still
one of them.
doing it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, he don't fuck around.
Like
so.
I stopped with whole social media. You know what I mean? Once social media came, I wasn't on the street with flyers.
He was
Right.
like, "Nah, fuck this."
So it's like, but that's just hip hop for me. Like if there's a list, right, and then there's like one black guy that I know, and there's other 2 white guys that I know, I'm voting for the black guy. Every
get
time.
it.
I'm just being honest.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
That's what
And-
Issa Rae said at the fucking Oscars. I'm here for all the black people to win.
Right. So, and it's not nothing against you.
Nah.
It's just for one, I seen what B's been doing, and he black. He won automatically. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like to me, like I always felt like I was really trying to help the culture. I was trying to make a living.
And I understand that.
I was trying to make a living too because you have to.
Right.
It's America. for
Right.
capitalistic wasteland.
You
That's
know.
what we do.
You know what I mean?
Preach.
You know what I'm saying? So like I gotta be able to like live, right?
Yeah.
But
Dead
you know,
dogs.
I mean, people my age were all making way more money than me.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I did it because I actually liked the music.
You
I
loved it.
loved hip hop music since early '90s when I heard it. You know what I mean? And it was never about. It was just about the sound and what people were saying.
But you know what I was telling to somebody earlier? I was like, literally, I was setting up and I'm talking to one of my good friends. And I said, yo, if you can make 70 to 80K a year doing what you love within music, you won.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Like, straight up.
And I think I maybe might have made that 1 year,
Wow.
you know?
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
So shout out to you, Leedz.
It wasn't, like I said, people thought I was a fucking millionaire.
Right.
Yeah.
I was at the Middle East downstairs.
Right.
Yeah.
But I fell for the same thing because I thought my first show at the Middle East, I'd be famous and never have to work a regular job again.
Right.
I was sadly mistaken.
You still had to work.
Still.
Yeah.
And I'm working now. Like, and
Right.
that's where I'm at now is like, you know, I've been, you know, when COVID hit and the Middle East shut down and all that, I was done.
Right.
You know, like I didn't.
So what happened with that?
What?
Why didn't they bring you back?
I was laid off right before COVID
Mhm.
as manager. The Middle East had gotten out, and you probably heard of it. It got
New management.
They
and all
trying
that.
to sell.
well, they got into some trouble. One of the owners got in some trouble.
Yeah.
Right. I heard some things.
So there was mad cancellations of shows. Hip hop didn't give a fuck. They're like, we're still getting paid. We're there.
Right. Yeah.
But the all you know the indie in alternative shows and the emo pop punk shows and the punk shows, they weren't having it. So they were canceling. And the Middle East couldn't survive just
Wow.
on hip hop. Thank God they did have hip hop because they've really been in trouble. But so business was going down, and there was nothing anybody could do about it because the guy was the damn owner.
Wow.
And changes weren't being made that needed to be made. And that's when the fighting started to happen. And in the last 2 years, it was just hectic. And then finally, I just got laid off. I said, just lay me off, man. Like, I'll collect and figure something else out.
And they never reached back out to you?
No, because it was just it was too much arguing. It was too much fighting. And they didn't want to pay me probably what I needed to make
Do
to
you miss
deal
it?
with that. I don't miss the inner politics of it. But yeah, of course I miss the hip hop show. But I did so many that I feel like I left it on the field.
Right.
Like, I feel like I can walk away and say, all right,
You got CTE.
I did what I did. I did what I did. I worked with pretty much everybody I wanted to work with. I probably did it a little too long.
Yeah, he want to kill all the babies. He don't like none of the babies.
I ain't killing no babies. So I was just like, if I'm done, I'm done. You know what I mean? It's fine.
I dig it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what's next for Leedz, man?
Well, I was making music, so that's when
Yeah.
the COVID hit. I was like, I'm gonna go back to what I really loved.
Yeah.
And like I said, because I went to school for music and making music and being a part of the music making
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
I became a promoter by default.
Mm.
It wasn't like, I'm gonna go to. You don't need to go to school to be a
It's
promoter.
because you wasn't good at rapping.
No, I was good at business.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
at business.
better, I
Right.
shouldn't say. I'm not the super. To be a great businessman, you better be a cold motherfucker.
Right.
I ain't cold.
Yeah.
Or just you got some lucky situation, or you just got some crazy product that's just everybody wants.
In demand, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That package.
You got that Donda 2 fucking thing you bought there.
Ooh.
Right.
Oh,
So yeah, I'm trying to still trying to figure. I mean, COVID fucked it up for me bad. It's tough when you have 20 years in a nightclub business and you're like try to go get a corporate job.
Right. It's weird.
They look at you like, you did hip hop.
Right.
What interesting.
Right.
Like the stigma of, we'll talk about that. Like the stigma of people that aren't in hip hop culture's thoughts on hip hop.
Right.
They think it's all one thing.
And they're like, but wait, you're white.
Yeah, they're like, white people don't say that.
Your name is Ned.
White people don't say that.
Your name is Ned Wellbery, bro.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, what the fuck
It's
are you
actually
doing?
Edward Daniel Wellbery. It's about as English waspy as you can
Jesus.
get.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's why Leeds is much preferred.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
crazy.
That'll work.
But it's yeah, it's not easy to get a regular job, and I'm doing like miscellaneous jobs. Like I'm doing Uber Eats. I'm doing delivering music equipment, snow plow removal. Like I've done whatever. I'm always looking for better opportunities. But in the meantime,
gotta eat.
I had to do a bunch of jobs, you know.
All while not drinking and smoking.
Nope.
You sober as a motherfucker.
I am sober as a motherfucker, and that was only because, again, the concert business had. You're in the bars fucking 6-7 nights a week.
Right.
Somebody
First it was
gave
the
you a bad
booze.
one.
Mad weed, booze, and then it just turned into nose candy, pills to go to sleep, and it's like I couldn't stop.
Was you on the Molly wave?
I did that a little as a kid. I didn't like the whole long process.
Molly was excellent.
Molly was the shit.
Molly was the shit, yo. The Molly
I did it when it was called ecstasy.
No.
Ecstasy
was too much.
Ecstasy
We didn't do ecstasy.
Yeah.
We did Molly.
Yeah,
Ecstasy is
Molly.
a combination.
I was done with that. I think I did Molly a couple of times. It was cool, but you know.
Bitches love Molly.
Yeah,
So I've heard.
So you just you do a show and then you go to and then you'd start drinking towards the end of the show and then you'd be at the after party and then that's when all the really drugs come out and you start doing that and then you're up all fucking night and then it's just you wait and it's just this vicious cycle.
Yeah.
That if you don't
Get off.
if I wasn't in the music business I probably would have went longer. But
Right.
being in the music business and the drinks are free at the club.
Yeah.
You drink a lot more when they're free, I tell you.
Absolutely.
Especially the Middle East, too. The Middle East, they pour you one like this.
Right.
This much booze.
Yeah.
Splash of
Of coke.
Yeah.
Right.
for the people they knew, you know what
Right.
I mean? So it'd be like 3 of those,
You're done.
Yeah, good.
2, you're good. So, and then you just, where's the drugs at?
Right.
So and that's just kind of like, I knew I wasn't going to live long if I kept doing that route. And I come from a long line of people that didn't make it.
Right.
And
Respect.
and that's kind of what connected me to hip hop. Because, as a kid growing up in the 80s, it was rock music, jean jackets, Metallica, all this other stuff.
Ripped jeans.
Full families.
Yeah.
My dad wasn't around. My
Right.
dad disappeared when I was 12 years old.
Wow.
So, gone for good. Never came back. I turned on MTV. I just watched, Everything's Gonna Be All Right by Naughty by Nature. I said, what are you talking about? That's my life. You know what I mean? I didn't grow up in the ghetto, but he's talking about not having a dad and this whole shit like that. Hip hop was talking about this shit that rock music wasn't talking about.
Right.
So I was like, yo, I can relate to that. I can relate to the struggle. I can relate to being different. You know what I mean? Whereas I felt like rock at that time was more, you're in or out. You know what I mean? So hip hop, it was different. It was like, it represented the struggle of people that were having a tough time. You know what I mean? And that was what the message of why I didn't look at it as black and white.
Right.
I was like, I could relate to this more than I can relate to,
What I'm growing up.
Pearl Jam.
Right.
I love Pearl Jam, but I can relate to this more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like
fair.
these people are speaking my language.
Yeah.
And the beats were just so fucking fun.
Yeah, they were.
You got Public, fucking Enemy, Dr. Dre, NWA, Cypress Hill, House of Pain,
Talking about the
Wu-Tang Clan,
Talking about the golden age.
Wu-Tang Clan, Nas, Gangstar.
Golden age. of
Come
hip-hop.
on.
It's a golden age.
How do you not love that?
Nah, that's where it came from. It's
So
50 years
that's,
old.
you asked me, like, it was never about, I wanted to just be a part of it, make a living. It wasn't about trying to monopolize and be a millionaire. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, now we know. Leedz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we
Still hate me?
No. What I'll tell you is, you a stand-up guy, man.
Thank you. I try to keep it honest. Even when people hated me, they'd be like, the Leedz fucking asshole. But respect him.
Right.
I used to get a lot of that. You know
Because
what
it's
I
just
mean?
more like, you can't not respect what you've done, bro.
Yeah.
It was just hard work.
Like for you to do what you've done with hip hop here in this city, in this market, and what we've been dealt with over the years, bro.
Fact. You're a staple.
We gotta tip, our hats to you.
Thank
bro.
you.
So
Thank you for
thank
going to the shows and like being a supporter. Like everybody that came out to the shows, like I said, all those opening acts that contributed to it. Everybody, the bartenders, the door people, everybody that came and gone. It's not about one person. Even if it's about the headliner you go to see, it's not just about them. There's a whole team of people working behind shit, and they all loved it. And that was what was so great about the Middle East is people just loved the fucking music going on. You'll never see a venue like that ever.
Nah.
Nah, never. So R.I.P. to the Middle East, because it's about to become
Yeah.
a thing of the past now,
I
right?
mean, they've been
So,
struggling for so long. I
know.
just like
It's
it's-
going under.
they're gonna knock it down, make it a hotel.
Yeah,
We'll see if the club still ends up there.
We'll see what happens, man. But Leedz, this is the part of the show where we ask, is there anything that you wanted to specifically talk about, man?
I think we covered a lot.
Because we did cover
Yeah,
a
we
lot.
Like I
talked
said,
about
I just
a lot.
remind everybody the Leedz Edutainment album's out, A Worker Among
Yep.
Workers.
Workers.
Okay. Worker
Featuring
amongst
everybody.
workers.
A lot of New England artists. A lot of
Yeah.
And like I said, that was just me wanting to, that title is just kind of me trying to be equal with everybody else.
Yeah.
Not trying to be above or beneath, just being
Right.
equal. Like you're a worker, you're a worker. We're all workers
We're
among
all
workers
workers,
here.
yeah.
No one's above each other.
Right.
We're just working.
Word.
And to me, that's what I've aimed to try to be in my my career these days, and just kind of just be not the boss, even though I've been the boss.
Right.
Boss ain't always everything, and it be cracked up. People think it's a great fucking thing. It's a lot of fucking stress being the boss.
Yeah, I know.
When you have a lot of people working under you. When you're just your own boss, okay. But when you got a lot of people and
Yeah.
responsibilities, and you got to pay and all this,
Feed
it ain't
motherfuckers.
fun.
Yeah.
So that album, and it was about the relationship too, and with everybody on that album had relationships.
Right.
So I wanted to, when you're putting together an album like that, you got to know that you're going to get it done. So you want to have good relationships with
Fire.
people.
Well, I want to give you some names of people that you should be on the lookout for.
Okay, here we go.
Right. That are making a lot of strides out here, man. Right.
Yeah.
If we're talking about the Shooters Music Camp, you got to talk about 8-Zip.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Zip, I'm not familiar.
You got to talk about Shay Bands.
Nope.
Um,
I'm saying no because I don't know them.
right. Just because you don't know them,
Yeah.
right? But and also from that camp, you also got to talk about Side Street Capo and 2Gs like Gucci, right?
Cool. I want to bring one thing up while you're talking about this. I do curate a Leeds playlist on
Yeah,
Spotify.
I know.
And I try to get as many people from New England and everybody on there. I then do it every week, update it every new artist.
Yeah.
Well, not new artists, but just new songs, new music.
Well, pay attention to these names.
Send them
bro.
to me
I will.
because I can't. It's hard to stay on top of everybody.
You got Feed the Family, which is like a super group.
Where are these guys
Right.
all from?
Feed the Family, they from Dorchester and South End,
Okay.
right? So you got Dun Dilly. He's been doing his thing for a while. You got
Dilly.
Bodie Rock. Bodie Rock is like probably the hardest working rapper in
Yeah.
Boston right now.
Bodie Rock?
Bodie Rock, like Boricua, like Puerto Rico.
Yep.
Bodie Rock, he's dropped like 15 projects within the last year and a half,
Yeah,
something
he's
like
working.
that.
He's
Yeah.
working.
That's the thing that was crazy about this era is like dudes can like drop that many projects, have a fan base, and then other people in the industry in your own town don't even know.
Right.
You know what I
But,
mean?
but this,
You know what I
this
mean?
is
Like-
where we come in.
No,
right?
I know, and that's I couldn't believe how often that was happening. Not just in Boston. I was, who is this person? Because
Right.
back in the day, you had to
Yeah.
go through the ranks.
Everybody would
Yeah.
know about everybody.
you got to go through the ranks.
It was more word of mouth than anything, too.
now
You
it's
know
like,
what I mean?
who's this person? And he's selling out the Middle East. I've never heard of him.
And also from that same crew, Feed the Family, you got Sheikh Hanif, amazing storyteller, amazing lyricist,
He's
and top hooter, right? So those are the guys that like I'm championing, like for real. Like when you talk about the two camp Shooters Music
Yeah.
and Feed the Family,
Word.
if nobody's talking about them, it has to be the guys who really love hip hop.
Yeah.
And I promise you, if you tap in with them,
Yeah, well,
you will actually love every single.
I'm
thing.
still a fan, man. Like
Yeah.
you don't. I mean, I still curate that playlist with like 100 new songs added a week. I still listen to it all. I still love it. I still love being a part of it. The
Yeah.
culture. Whether I make a living in it these days, I don't know. Only God will tell on that one. But I still will be a fan.
Word.
That's something that doesn't go away.
Word. It'll never die, man. Hip hop
No.
culture's forever.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
reign supreme.
Cash, man, ask me your favorite question,
Ooh,
bro.
okay.
So actually, let me ask you now: Am I a culture vulture?
Nah, leave.
I used to think you were.
Yeah.
I used to think
Back
you were.
then,
I used to think you were.
Yeah.
Right.
it took sitting
but-
across from you.
But yeah, sitting across from you, I can see that you're not. You're not a vast Jan. You know what I'm saying?
Nah. And we
You know,
sat across from him, and he
you-
still left.
You
He
actually,
left like a residue on the couch. and
right.
shit.
Yeah.
We had to disinfect that.
Slimy,
shit after he left.
slimy residue.
I mean, we stand on that shit with that kid.
On
Fuck
that
him.
dog.
And I would just like to say one last thing. Like guys like me, independent promoters, it's a dying breed.
It is.
Mhm.
There's with the new big businesses, venues are all big business now.
Right.
You see these new big venues popping up, Live Nation, AEG. The independent era is kind of
Yeah.
independent guys like
Yeah.
me doing it is kind of dumb.
Bro, Boston Music Awards is at Big Night Live this year.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. That's a venue that I'm on the fence a little bit with that venue just because it's more about a bottle service club
Mm.
and the watch the show area, the little GA floor,
Yeah.
is tiny.
It is small.
It's tiny, and they promoted like these concerts, and sometimes they're just fucking special appearances.
Yeah.
This is true, but
So, but it's nice for. An
I want to
award
win
show.
while I'm in
No,
there.
no. It's nice. It's nice.
Don't fuck it up for me, Leeds.
Still something Leeds if I don't win.
I'm just being real with the way I'm just a little biased towards like a good venue watching experience. That's
I respect that.
I get it.
like
I'm
for
not
fans
mad
that pay to get tickets. I just
Word. No, I mean I get that. You know
But you guys should win. Hopefully,
Choose what the future brings. That's what CWTFB
What is
stands
it?
for. Choose
Yeah.
what the future brings.
Choose
when
that.
you hear that, what that mean to you when you hear that? Choose what the future brings.
we gotta fucking do some groundwork.
Mm.
You can't expect to sit in some shade if you don't plant some trees.
Word.
So that's all I can. You know what? You know who told me that?
Oh,
XL the Beast.
shout out to XL the Beast. All for that.
Are we out on that note?
But yes, we are out on that, man. I am Charlie MaSheen Kash. Just ran to go use the bathroom, man. We are CWTFB Radio. We just had Leedz Edutainment in the building, man. I love this conversation from start to finish. I need everybody to tap in with my man Leedz. If you are not familiar, you need to get familiar and find out what the fuck's going on. I wanted to talk about Peter Parker and totally forgot about that as well.
At Leedz EDU, Leedz EDU.
Yes.
Peter Parker's my boy.
But we're going to talk about that. We're going to save that for when Peter Parker pulls up, man.
There you
He's
go.
on the couch, man. So
Good dude.
we love y'all, man. This is episode 144. CWTFB Radio. We love y'all, and we out of here.